Eddie Mellencamp. Shannon allegedly drove into a house allegedly. With John Jensen? Allegedly? I don't know.
In 2023, allegedly.
Alleged. I need everyone to drop the alleged.
I think she's just afraid.
Of what? The truth?
That someone's going to try to sue her for defamation.
Who?
Well, sometimes when you're wrapped up.
Jim Bellino?
Oh, yes, maybe so.
Didn't he sue Shannon and Tamara for defamation?
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
And he won.
Oh, he did?
I think he did.
God, I was about to say, I don't know what happened with that case.
If I can remember correctly, I'm sure a listener will chime in. Let us know if we're getting this wrong. This is on the fly, guys. This is on the fly.
Yeah.
She had to pay restitution or
they
punitive damages.
Or something.
Or the court costs were so expensive. But I remember her talking about it at one of the reunions. It was almost like $1 million.
Wow.
It was a big deal. I don't even remember what.
It was something they said on a podcast or something. They said at like a show. I can't remember what it was.
Gross.
Yeah, that is pretty.
Jim Bellino.
Ugh. Well, never mind. Take all this out.
Okay.
We're about to be on our next lawyer case. Jim, we don't have any money. Don't come for us.
Please don't. Who do you think are some of the worst house husbands? They don't have to have necessarily been married.
Ooh.
Now that we're talking about John Jansen a little bit.
Tough list. A lot of them are Orange County.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Brooks, horrific.
Oh, 5 seasons.
That's a lot.
5 seasons. I can't believe we had to deal with him that long. It's really hard for me to wrap my head around that. 5 years.
And the guy, I thought he was really controlling. The guy that was married to Megan.
Jim Edmonds?
Yeah, he was really gross.
Gross. Simon
was awful.
Horrifying.
I think they have the franchise of the worst men. I really do.
Divorce.
Yeah.
She really goes hard.
That limo ride? Yikes.
Assist.
It's bad. Bad boyfriends and bad husbands on that show.
Why? Why OC?
I don't know. Something in the water.
Guys, we haven't forgotten about Real Housewives of Orange County. Last week, executive producer came over and we were going to record it. And then somebody in my building decided the time that executive producer had come over was like 4 o'clock. They were going to be doing construction. They were going to be drilling. Yeah.
Shannon said, don't talk about it anymore.
And it backed into our other recording. So we didn't get to record it. And then we were going to record it. And then the weekend came by. And then, so we just figured, bunch it all together.
Bunch. And, as we mentioned episodes ago, I do have a new job, and it's kind of a job that doesn't have a set schedule, so it's all over the place. So there might be some episodes that I'm able to be a part of, and some I might not be able to just because my schedule changes weekly. We're doing the best we can, but with the content that is out there, with all the shows that we have, Bravo really did us dirty on this.
They really did. I'm telling you, it was a gangbang.
It's overload.
I'm like, what is going on?
I'm sore. I'm in pain. It's hard, no pun intended. But
actually, it might be just an orgy. I don't know. Let's ask Bryn. Let's ask Bryn. I think she might know. And I don't mean that to sound like pejorative. I just
no. She would at least maybe have knowledge on it.
She would.
But yeah, so we're doing our best to kind of cover what we can and not be like too behind the 8 ball. But we do appreciate everyone's patience when sometimes things happen, drilling happens, and we might not be able to get to everything exactly when we want to be able to
get there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. Here's the thing. Betsy and I have caught up on OC. We talk about it. We know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot.
Yeah.
Real quick, I guess I just want to ask, since we are going to talk about Shannon a little bit more, but how did you feel with that scene at the end of last episode? Jen, Tamara, Vicky. What's her middle name?
I don't know.
Vicky Ann? It's one of those. Midwesterns like Vicky Ann, Vicky Lynn. Is it Vicky Lynn?
I don't know what it is. Maybe Ann sounds right. Well, we'll have to look it up. Or somebody DM us and let us know. Vicky, what is it? Tell us out there. I can't stand Tamara.
Is that it?
Did that upset you?
No, not at all. No, not at all. Here's the thing. You mistake me liking a housewife for believing that what they do is always right.
No, I know that you're not like that.
No. I feel like I'm pretty fair.
You are. But that scene with the Jen stuff made me upset. And then Tamara has the audacity to be like, you ripped your family apart for this man. Why did you do that? Leave her the fuck alone.
I don't understand.
She's not getting the reaction she wants. So she's pushing and pushing and pushing. And then finally we get Jen to be quote unquote activated. and it's too much now.
I don't always want to assume that because one housewife is pointing out foibles or transgressions in another housewife that they're always deflecting. But the one thing that's always rang true with me is something that you said at the beginning of the season, which we haven't really touched on it too much in covering OC, but you always somehow, we do manage to come back here. What's going on with her and Eddie?
Right.
Because
we know nothing.
I know nothing.
Other than the fact that it seems like something's a little off.
I just think that we expect Shannon to divulge. Why aren't we expecting the same from Tamara? Mm-hmm. Is anybody talking about that?
No.
I'm curious if any of our listeners have picked up on that. Is he okay?
Well, I don't know. Nobody knows. Because he's barely on the show. He's barely on the show.
I mean, I know that he had the heart condition.
Yeah, but that was seasons ago.
I know, but then that rolled into the pandemic.
Right.
Then, cut fitness gets cut.
Yeah. No pun intended.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. It's just interesting. Food for thought.
Yeah.
When we cover OC a few days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll definitely talk a little bit more about that because I'm sure I don't know if it's going to pick up right where it leaves off, but obviously they're still going to be on the trip. So we will get some aftermath of that. So we'll dive into it more. Also, guys, I know we tend to thank you all at the end of the episode, but I'm trying to remember to do it at the beginning for those of you who may drop off. And we know who you are. 4 hours. Yeah, we understand.
We know where you live. We know who you are. But we wanted to make sure that we got it in and
at the top of the episode.
At the top of the episode. So for all of those out there who have donated a cocktail, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, baby.
To EB, KDM, Teeny, XT.
You think that's Christina Aguilera? Oh, did you say XT?
Yeah,
I was thinking
Xtina. Suze, Sydney, Lauren, Rami? Rami. I'm going to just give it a go. And all those three are fucking wrong, by the way. It's going to be something completely different. And Ricky.
All right.
Oh, Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you've got. Send it off in a letter to yourself. Did I get that right? Look, I'm trying to refrain from singing.
Well, but because you did that, I didn't know what you were doing. So
it's my Elizabeth Vargas voice. Do you hear this today? Guys, we're rewatching OC, and I just
no one's gonna remember who that was, or maybe they'll all remember who that was.
I only know Elizabeth Vargas because Elizabeth Vargas is my favorite journalist. Like growing up, watching her on 2020 and stuff.
God,
that's what she sounds like. I don't know why. She's a very girthy voice.
Yep, that type of voice.
Very girthy, little cocky.
down the
hatch.
Down the hatchet.
Like Shannon Bedore's big pores.
Oh my God. Ooh. That could be a bar.
Shannon Bedore's big pores? I think it's too soon.
Yeah, well, not now. Like in 10 years, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm a sucker for anything that rhymes. So.
I like that. Elizabeth Vargas. Shannon Bedore's big pores. I have a low voice, too.
I mean, I do, too.
I feel like my voice is very low today.
It is. It? We both have pretty low voices.
I feel like it's especially low.
Well, you have never, your mind, you've never been able to recover from when you lost your voice.
I haven't.
think it's forever changed.
I really don't. I haven't been able to.
I still think it sounds
pretty
good.
Do you hear that squeak? Mm-hmm. I mean, God, I'm trying.
Going through puberty still.
I kind of felt like I went through puberty. Mm-hmm. Went from 35 to 36.
Yeah, guys, over here at Reality Bites, I don't know if Lauren wants me to say this on mic, but I guess we can edit it out. If not, somebody celebrated a birthday this week.
Guys, I definitely told her to remind everybody that it's my birthday.
I'm trying to bring it up in a very organic, authentic way.
Okay, I don't want people to think that I'm like that full of myself, okay? No fucking way.
Bravo. No, but really, Lauren celebrated her 36th birthday.
I'm embarrassed to share this age with Aaron.
I'm right behind you.
And Bryn. We're the same age now.
Well, at least we have Bryn.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to me, this, I know we've said for a couple episodes that we were kind of shocked that Erin was the age that she was because we kind of thought she was a little bit older. Mm-hmm. Just maybe how she carried herself, her family.
She looks young, though.
In this episode that we're going to recap in a minute, I thought she was 20. I didn't understand what was going on with her actions. So I take back everything I say, and I think she seems very immature. So I don't even want to claim that she's 36.
Well, before we get into it, we are going to talk about Shannon.
We are.
The rise and fall.
Well, the fall and fall. I don't know where the rise is.
Let's just call it what it is. Archie. The unsung hero. He's ride or die.
Yeah, but probably no consent. She's just like, oh, we're getting in the car.
Do you think that Shannon had him leashed in the back seat?
No doubt that the answer is no.
Oh, absolutely not. Most people don't do that, but I know a couple of people.
No, and honestly, I don't either. My dog is leashed, but I don't have her. I have a very small car. I don't have the thing where you can like hook it up and like have them in place. My dog also just sits. She doesn't move a lot in the car. She's not like an anxious rider. But if we are to believe, allegedly, thank you, Teddy, that she at some point got out of the car and like walked the dog, then I would. Here's my assumption. Yes, she leashed Archie up, but Archie's probably just in the car, right?
I mean, do you leash a big dog?
I'm talking about like, I imagine that when she took him over to the house, she probably had him on leash.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So he's leashed.
Yes.
But in the car, he has his collar and his leash on, but he's not attached to anything.
Got it.
That's what I would assume. And also, you know, she's like my parents' age. My parents, actually my parents are older, but kind of around the same age. I don't think people are, you know, leashing their dogs up in the car or like having kennels in the car and stuff like that.
Remember when she lost Archie?
I do remember that. Yeah.
For a whole 24 hours?
Yeah, I do. I was so happy that she found him.
It's frightening. Boilerplate thoughts about RHONY?
Who's having fun on this trip? I need to know.
I'm not.
Maybe Bryn's having fun with herself. Honestly, the takeaway for this episode for me, which was like a high, was like Bryn and Jenna low-key like having fun flirting. You know what I mean? Like innocently flirting and like having fun with each other, even though everyone knew that it was like nothing was there. Like that, I was like, oh, that was a fun little takeaway. Everything else, terrible.
I can't wait till we get to that part because you and I are going to have differing opinions on this.
I hope. Perfect. Viewers out there, listeners and viewers, we are different.
Oh, gosh.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, you know.
Oh, sorry.
It's
my birthday, okay?
It's my birthday. Well, what are you thinking before we get into it?
Does it feel like we've been on this trip for a really long time? I feel like this is...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because not much is happening.
But I feel like this trip is abnormally longer than even the trip on OC right now. We end the episode and we still have another full day.
Mm-hmm. Day 4.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just because it feels thin.
Yeah, because they're not having fun. No one's really having fun. There's activities, sort of.
Yeah.
There's really not activities. There's, I guess because Cy planned it, there's lunch activities and there's dinner activities. There's dinners and there's lunches. Sure. And then there's a boat somewhere in there. So, you know, and one of the dinners we don't even get to see. It's just a flash because of how uneventful that was. The one that Bryn didn't go to.
It just feels like the pacing's just a little off. It feels like we squeezed a lot into this episode of RHONY, and whereas like the other episodes just felt very stretched regarding the trip.
Oh,
to be clear.
Okay. That's what I was saying. They're all together. So sometimes you would think that the content would be really rich. Some of it's there.
I got to be honest. I left the episode being embarrassed for millennials. That's
because of Aaron.
No, but it's kind of everybody except for Jenna, who's Gen X. Actually, everybody and except for Jessel. Jessel's my queen now. Guys,
y'all, we're actually on the same page with that.
Jessel is
she's everything right now.
Guys, she's my North Star like Craig Conover is on Charm. Leave it to Jessel to always just come through in confessional or just period.
I'm actually feeling the same way.
I love her. I'm obsessed.
Well, I really like her.
I need everyone to leave her the fuck alone. I felt really embarrassed for us as millennials. I'm embarrassed to say that I'm this age. And then I thought, is this why people think that we suck? No. It's this, right?
No, because this is, I don't claim this at all. I don't claim this at all. And I'm not embarrassed of anyone other than Aaron.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess so.
I'm really not. I mean, even Cy, Cy's just kind of a bitch sometimes. I'm not embarrassed by Uber. I'm not embarrassed by any of them. Aaron is deplorable.
I think I expected her to kind of be this way. I already kind of knew the characterizations going in. I just didn't know that we would cross the threshold like this. Yeah. And I don't understand. Anyway, we're going to, guys, we could sit here and just talk about it forever, but then the cold open would be the entire episode.
Yeah.
So
we'll time code it about 3.5 hours. We're really going to get into the Aaron stuff. So just hang around, baby. Hang around.
Hang around. I feel like this is pretty apropos, but guys, buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Oh God.
We're going to take you. It's a joyride, guys. Oof. Ride or die. Joyride. Let's go.
Click it or kick it.
All right, guys. Hop in. Let's go. Archie, let's go.
Okay. Oh my God. I can't.
Hey y'all, welcome to Reality Bites, the podcast where we'll deep dive into this week's buzziest reality TV and pop culture happenings.
I'm Betsy, and while I may be 9 to 5 by day, I'm a reality connoisseur by night.
And I'm JJ, a reality TV producer by trade, but my favorite pastime is dishing unfiltered dirt and behind-the-scenes scoop. We'll tackle the biggest and best water cooler moments of the week through an insider lens you won't find anywhere else.
Buckle up, buttercups.
Please don't tell me it's about Tom.
It's about Tom.
This is Reality Bites.
We're fine, we're loose. Loosey goosey, apple juicy, baby.
I'm gonna let you take it away.
Well, yeah, news hit yesterday.
No pun intended.
Wait, I didn't even mean it like that. Wow, y'all, I swear to God, I didn't.
News hit and run.
I didn't even mean it like that. Guys, I've been locked out of our Instagram for so long. I think
Guys,
Lauren
she hasn't been locked
out.
out. She doesn't remember the password.
No, it just logs me out.
No, it signs you out, and you don't have the password saved.
But I always have it on my phone where it never logs me out. So I just always same with my personal Instagram. I'm always there. So it must be after like 90 days, it'll just like log me out and make me sign back in. Anyway, so I've been logged out for a while. So my personal Instagram is a little bit rough. Okay.
I have to take screen grabs when you guys specifically mention Betsy or you're talking directly to her, and I take screen grabs and then I send them to her, text them to her.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
This is how she communicates through DMs.
Yeah, and let me know because I will send you a voice memo. Okay, because that is my favorite form of communication. So
we had one of our listeners give Eeps a hard time about the fact that the Bills are the only team that actually play in New York. So sorry.
Oh wow! I bet that really stung for her.
I'm sure this last game.
Listen, I love the Bills.
Did you see this game on Monday? I mean, on Sunday?
Well, I'm a Cowboys fan, so what do you think?
Oh, duh. I totally forgot we play the Cowboys.
Well, out of respect to Eeps, like, I told Eeps, I was like, we can't watch it together because I'm not mature enough. I can't do that kind of stuff.
I legitimately was like, why don't we all watch it together? And Eeps was like, Betsy can't do it. And I'm like, wait, what?
I told her.
I'm like, I forgot they're playing the Cowboys.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh, God. By the way, I saw Tony Romo. He's an idiot.
Can't stand. Talk about a jump scare.
What is that man talking about? What is he saying?
All he does is hog the mic and he has to explain everything and he over explains it. It's horrific. I hate it. I can't stand it. Get out of here, jump scare. And he's so resentful, especially when he talks about the Cowboys, and I can always tell.
Remember when he broke his pinky? Loser. Anyway.
Turf toe. But yes. So I watched that game. But yeah, Eeps and I told Eeps was willing to watch it with me, and I said that better not. Because, I'm just kind of an intense watcher.
You did text the group saying good game.
She did.
Oh.
I wasn't going to reach out because it was quite a beating.
Oh, I thought that was you.
No, I wasn't going to reach out.
Oh, y'all lost. Guys,
no,
please check
the Jets lost.
I know. Why would Eve say good game? Or no, why would you say good game?
Right.
I know.
I wasn't going to be.
Jesus fucking.
The thing is that Eve has told me that she likes to shit talk. So that's part of, her love language. She likes to do things like that. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't like to be shit talked.
John Jansen's love language.
In respect, I don't do that to other people. So I wasn't texting her being like, good throw, Zach Wilson, when he does dumb shit, because I don't want somebody saying that to me, okay?
Yeah.
So I went silent, and then I waited for her to reach out after the game, and then we, are friends again. But, beat down.
I don't have anything that I get this excited over. I'm going to have to think about what that is.
Well, it's also just this angry over, so it goes hand in hand. But what were we talking about? Shannon?
I interrupted you like an asshole that I am, but it's my birthday, and I'll cry if I want to. Yeah. So, Shannon, you...
Oh, I know more about Shannon. That's right. Okay. Oh, because we were talking about the DMs. Okay. Yes. So, guys, even on my personal Instagram account, this came up. Okay. And I saw first it said DUI, but then I was like, oh, hit and run. And I think if it was just a DUI, or was it a DUI or DWI?
DUI.
DUI. Okay. I think it would still be kind of shocking, and we would obviously still talk about it, especially, Gina stuff, hindsight, it's 2020, ironic, whatever. But I think, it would just be like another dozen housewives or Bravo celebrities that have gotten a DUI. But the hit and run was really what was kind of a jump scare. And then
Jump the curb.
I clicked on it and I read that the dog was there. And I was like, what's happening? What time of day? Because I think when I first saw it, I didn't, like, no real information was out. We knew that she hit a house, or she clipped a house. We knew that the dog was there. And we knew that, like, she somehow got taken. But was she walking the dog? Did she drive back home? Did she, like, pass out in the car and they found her in the car?
Sure.
Like, there were certain things that were unknown. I also didn't know, was the sun up? Was the sun down? We didn't know. And then they released that video the next day.
Archie, witness for the prosecution.
What did you... Okay, well, what are your first initial thoughts of when you just heard the news?
I want to preface this by saying I got a DUI about 10 years ago in California. It's no joke. I think in Texas, it's a little easier to kind of fight that. In California, they just don't fuck with that. It's just you're guilty or you're not. So I kind of, the same way that you did, I was like, shit happens. People make mistakes. I didn't know anything, so I wasn't sure where she was headed, like why she was even driving.
Yeah.
How much did she even have to drink?
Yeah.
Because you can get pulled over with, depending on your BMI, not to get like nerdy, but depending on your body size, you can still carry 0.08 of alcohol, but it doesn't.
It affects people differently.
It does. It affects people differently. And it wasn't until my own DUI that I realized that I was able to equate alcohol to like a number, because we're not taught and we don't grow up with breathalyzers. You don't know what is what. You just know 0.08. But what is 0.08, right?
Right.
They can tell you some arbitrary 2 beers in 1 hour, whatever, but you just don't know.
Yeah.
So shit happens. My first real thought was I just didn't understand why she was driving. Because when I got my DUI, Uber didn't exist like that. So people just kind of drove. I know it sounds very, I'm excusing it, everyone just drove, but it was just a very different time.
Yeah.
I was more just disappointed in like, why is she driving? I also am very familiar with Newport. It's very small. The streets are really narrow. There's no yard. There's no grass. There's no anything, especially the closer you live to the marina. So I just didn't understand like what happened. Like, was it during the day? Was it not during the day? Where was she going? Why did she have the dog with her? I was confused. So was Tamara.
Yeah.
Like, what is that about?
That was really bizarre. And like hearing, I mean, I only heard, a snippet of the 2 T's in a pod. I want to say probably like a 4-minute little clip when they're talking about it. And Tamara really seems legit like shaken up.
She's
like
shooketh.
She's not crying, but you can tell she's right on the verge of crying. Like she seems really like disturbed and like kind of freaked out. And it's weird that they had a Zoom call on Sunday.
Why did they have a Zoom call?
She said it was something with the Tres Amigos. So don't they do some type of show or they have like a improv thing they do or something? I don't know. I felt like they do something together, I think.
A traveling variety show, you mean?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because you're like, Housewives is a variety show.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So they had something, I guess, for that, and Tamara was just like, she was really quiet. She didn't say much.
I didn't understand that it was on Zoom. The clip that I had heard, I think I just ascertained, or because it was very quick, I just assumed that it was just a phone call. Like maybe they had just talked to each other on the phone. So Shannon was on fucking Zoom?
Yeah. I'm almost positive she said Zoom. If not, I guess it was a conference call. But she said that Shannon was very, very quiet. Shannon didn't say very much. And all Shannon said was, I've had a rough couple of days, and did not expand on that. And I guess they didn't ask, or they did ask and she shut it down. I don't know.
Did they say that they saw her?
I really thought that she said they had a Zoom call.
Oh, okay.
But listen, don't crucify me. I don't know.
That's probably why then Tamara's probably a little bit more shaken, because she probably saw her and she seemed fine.
Yeah. Well, she said that she seemed very quiet.
We'll get clarification on that. I don't know, but that's just, okay, so she didn't say anything.
Yeah, more to come. And obviously what we know is that this happened technically Sunday, but it happened like right around midnight Saturday. So Sunday, I guess, is when she allegedly went to the hospital, and then all that happened, and then the news didn't break until Monday. So just imagine already like knowing what happened, went to the hospital. Maybe she has a broken arm, maybe she doesn't. I don't know. That seems unclear. But having your shame spiral happening and then getting on a phone call and like talking to friends and then just like, you know what I mean? Like I'm actually surprised she took the phone call, but I guess because it's quote unquote work, like I'm sure they were talking about scheduling or something.
She didn't want to seem out of the ordinary.
She had to be a part of it. But
I will say getting a DUI is very shameful.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad was a functioning alcoholic who had DUIs. He even, I think, at one point, similar to Shannon, didn't hit a house, but I think maybe hit a car that was parked.
Yeah.
And so knowing that and then getting my own DUI, even though I don't have an addiction, but it's still, you carry that shame because you just don't want to be perceived as a person like with a problem, or you just don't know how to manage yourself. And sometimes, guys, it just fucking happens.
Yeah.
It's, yes, I understand that for every person that gets pulled over with a DUI, there's probably so many countless times that they drove before that. You just, some people just don't know. I'm not excusing it, but I will say that like you just sometimes don't understand. So I know that she is very embarrassed and is very ashamed because I carried that for a very long time. I mean, now I'm just like, whatever. But then I did. And it's just, I had a lot of anxiety. I think I went through a bout of depression after that, just because you just, you know, it was my first year living in LA and I just was kind of alone and young. Yeah. So I just felt isolated.
Well, and the thing of it is that like, it's a tricky situation. And I think there is something to be said with like knowing your limits and what you can, you know, and can't do, but alcohol is very tricky. And sometimes you feel like you can fly on alcohol. So it's a tricky situation. And I think for her, it's a bigger deal because of this hit and run. Like, not only did she hit something, we have it on camera. And guys, without knowing too much, this is something she's done multiple times.
Oh, she's driven this path so many times.
She's driven this path so many times. And like, and one of the mysteries was solved because I was like, what the fuck is she doing with the dog? And then I saw a video where they're like, she was at John Jansen's. A neighbor heard them screaming and shouting. So she had a fight. And I was like, oh, this is starting to click into place for me. This is starting to get it. It's not just that Shannon shouldn't have been drinking or shouldn't have been driving because she was drinking. She's also Shannon. And she's very, as we see on the show, guys, she's very like
dysregulated
with her emotions. So take drinking on top of being like erratical, coming off of a fight, being like, no, I've just got to get out of here. I'm getting out of here. Grabbing your dog. She's not only driving drunk, but she's driving like infuriated. I mean, look at that turn we saw. I mean,
turn. She was supposed to be good, guys. Okay, so you were asking earlier what I thought. Before we saw the video, I was trying to envision how this happened. So because I'm familiar with the area, I just assumed that she went too fast, maybe taking like a right-hand turn.
Right.
And
jumped a curb.
And she jumped a curb. And because the houses don't have any yards, she maybe like clipped the corner. She is taking a turn, but it's like a lazy Susan type of a turn. It's not like an actual turn left, turn right. It's like a little curve.
Yeah.
And she missed.
She swung. She did not miss.
Well, yeah.
She swung and she did not miss.
I didn't realize it. It was way worse than I was anticipating.
Imagined.
If she had been going any faster, she would have flipped her car.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no yard. So you bounce in those streets. You're also supposed to go, the speed limit there is 25 miles an hour. It's very slow. She did not feel like she was going 25, which is why she overcorrected and overshot.
Yeah, I guess so. I understand she has to just be hating herself right now, and it's probably not an easy time to be grateful. But you should be very grateful that, I mean, it sounds like she might have broken her arm. In the grand scheme of things, I'm hoping the dog's okay. We know that no one else was injured in this. So in that aspect, like very, very grateful. But yeah, it's a sad situation. I mean, I think we've even pointed out on this season and, you know, definitely past seasons, we've noticed it that Shannon has definitely an unhealthy relationship with alcohol. And I mean, we're not doctors. I'm not going to sit here and be like, she's absolutely alcoholic 101.
No.
No, but she has an unhealthy relationship with alcohol. We've seen that since she's come on to Orange County. I've never seen a season with Shannon where she doesn't have some type of unhealthy relationship.
Well, it tends to really present itself when her relationships are in a darker place.
Yeah.
And we all know that. That's another thing. I don't think anybody knew that she was at John Jansen's. So I think, if I can remember correctly, Jeff Lewis said that he had invited her out.
Yes.
Because they were celebrating his partner Stu's birthday, and she had declined.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what I heard too, yeah.
Then on the Tamara Teddy side, she had talked to her, didn't understand like where she had come from. Well, we all come to find out that she's at John Jansen's house, the one place that she's been trying to hide that she goes to the entire season of the show.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that we talked about this last week, but I was catching up with Watch What Happens Live. and this must have been 2 weeks ago. I don't think it was last week, but 2 weeks ago, Emily and Gina were on. And one of the questions that Andy asked was like, you know, what do you think the biggest red flags of Shannon and John's relationship? Gina's like, oh, well, they broke up. I think that's the red flag. And Emily's like, I don't think they did. And Andy's like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, I think they still low-key hang out and are dating. So I think that there's a lot of truth that they, I mean, look at that incident when they ran into each other at the restaurant and she got kicked out. Like, I think that there's a pattern here. I think that they have been hanging out.
Everything's
fine. I just,
I don't understand why they were still together. Is this a codependency?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is. And I think that I don't know what's going to come of this. Obviously we'll get, because right now I put this in quotations, it's like ongoing because I think of the hit and run and, I mean, that's a crime. So I think we're just gonna have to kind of wait and see. But, I don't know what this means for her as a housewife. Maybe we shouldn't even be thinking about that right now.
She's in counseling. She has already checked herself into a counseling center.
Oh, I didn't know if she was like already like in a rehab, you mean?
Then maybe I misunderstood that.
She's definitely going to be seeking counseling. Obviously, I assume she'll hopefully take, accountability and really look at the situation. And I think two things can be true. I think bad judgment. She shouldn't have done this. Sure. It could have been way, way worse. Take a look at yourself.
It really could have been.
And then also there's the side, and like you can be disappointed and like horrified. And I know there's so many people out there that have had loved ones and people taken away from drunk drivers. And I think that this is a sensitive subject, especially in that regard. And I think there's another side of it that this is someone who's really in a bad place and someone who really, really is suffering. And I just kind of want her to be able to figure it out. And I do think that is going to have to be off camera. And yeah, I don't know. Well, it's a sad situation all around, really.
Well, in theory, they would be starting to film OC sometime in the next few months. Do you think that it would be wise for her to come back?
No, I don't. I think that
maybe halfway through the season.
Yeah, I think as a viewer, we want to know the story. Like, we want to know what happened. But I think we're going to get bits and pieces of that. Like, I think we already know a decent amount.
Sure.
Like, we can put together the puzzle piece mainly. I don't know that it's going to be good for Shannon. I think this is going to be a tough place for her to crawl out of. I think the judgment around the world and on social media, not even talking about the Gina stuff, because to me that's kind of, I mean, it is relevant, but it's a little irrelevant.
Sure.
To me, that's the minors. This is the majors.
Yeah.
Like Shannon's in the majors right now.
Yeah.
So I think that it's going to be very hard for her to get out of this. I do think, like, I know we said we're not doctors, we're not going to label her, but she has something's going on. And I think
we're using alcohol to cope.
Yeah, we are.
And so that
and
in
I've
and of
done
itself
that.
is a problem.
Like,
of
and
course.
I've done that, and I can recognize that. But I think going through it on TV, I think maybe having
and also trying to hide her relationship and social media, and we all know everything, and it's
she's not
just
going to want to talk about it.
Correct.
And she's not going to want to talk about it in 2 or 3 months. So I think I maybe we could be open to like having her come back midway through the season because this is what I wanted to ask you before we move on because I did see like a comment on one of the videos being like, Bravo needs to fire her because this is deplorable.
Oh,
is this like, to me, this doesn't seem like something that, like, to me, Bravo, if she doesn't come back next season, I think that's actually more of Shannon saying, I don't want to come back, I don't want to film right now, versus like Bravo being like, no, we don't want to extend your contract. What are your feelings on that as a producer?
I do not think that they would not extend her contract.
Okay.
Just because. So this is a misdemeanor. No, so a felony hit and run in the state of California is serious bodily harm or death.
Okay.
So if she had caused serious bodily harm and death and was charged with a felony hit and run, that's different.
Okay.
That I think they would probably be a little bit more like, no.
Right.
Especially if somebody really got hurt.
Right.
Or obviously if somebody passed or something like this. Absolutely fucking not.
Right.
But this is a misdemeanor. So no, I don't think this is something that is going to deter her getting a contract extension.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with where Shannon's at too, with how much money she makes. I don't know how you let that go. You hope that you plan for that. You hope that you're planning for the day that you don't get asked back, so that
and you'll be okay.
Yeah. So this is one of those moments where I wouldn't have seen a future without her. Like, definitely come back, but because of this, if she doesn't want to come back, she's going to take a big hit financially, like really big.
I don't know.
Because at this point, Shannon probably makes at least $900,000 a year.
I mean, and there could be a world that she really is doing like seeking counseling and taking it serious in a real way, other than just like being, you know, I need to take counseling because everyone's telling me I do. Maybe she will be ready to talk about it in a real way in a couple months. I don't know. It's obviously very new.
Yeah.
But yeah, yikes. I don't
was
know.
bad.
It was really it was bad when I read it, and then when I saw it, I was like, this is bad. This is worse than I could have imagined.
Yeah. I mean, they found her like what, a quarter of a mile away?
Yeah. I saw one video. It was like a quarter of a mile away next to like a shopping center. Who knows?
My guess is that she drove off, pulled over, could ascertain enough that like she should just pull over and like leave the car.
Yeah.
And then probably allowed herself to maybe
Walk
take
the
a
dog.
rest and walk the dog. I
don't know.
Shannon.
I don't know.
Guys, ring cams, CCTV, everything is being watched. First of all, you live in the United States, everything's being watched. But come on. They also live like 20 minutes away from each other. She lives about 7 miles away from John.
Oh, okay.
This is a long drive in California.
That's what I'm saying, but guys, that's what I'm saying. She's done this before.
It's not.
There's probably part of her that thought she went on autopilot, and I think pairing the alcohol with the amount of rage that we can assume that she had, since we have
the neighbors
saying that they were shouting, which if we know anything, we know they have a pretty
now the houses
toxic
are
relationship,
very close, like 6 inches apart.
So I mean, just I don't know.
I hope her kids are okay. That to me,
I hope that, yeah, I know.
Because I thought about that too. Like, it's just kind of, guys, it's an embarrassing thing, especially if your parents are in the public eye. You know, there's a difference between someone like me who gets to experience that in privacy,
right,
than being in the public eye. We already know there's relationship problems. It just, it opens up for a lot of villainization or ridicule or judgment. And I
crucifixion.
Correct. Maybe. And the best thing we can do is make light fun, because that's, it's wild.
It is.
And not that you want to make fun, but you just have to make light of it the best way possible. And I feel for her.
And also, like, I just want her, at some point, I assume she will make a statement. And obviously, you have to take accountability for this. So I'm looking for that, taking accountability. And also, like I said earlier, you are a public figure. I think there are going to be, I've already seen tons and tons of comments being like, she needs to go to jail. She needs to be locked up. And I think everyone's valid for those feelings that they have. I just also want to remind people that this is also a person that probably is struggling. She did a bad thing. She made a bad judgment.
She hates herself more.
She does. She hates herself more than anyone
Shannon
can hate her.
Is a good example of like a person who shames himself.
Yeah. And I just hope that she can really take accountability in a real way, and we can make some progress, because,
onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards, aka The Climb by Miley Cyrus.
Okay, I have to say one thing though before we move on. Did you just hear that? The wind just right out of my sails.
To the depression of RHONY.
Yeah. Oh,
what is
God.
it? Lay it on me.
Okay.
Oh, she got excited again. Okay.
Because leave it to Vicky Gunvalson
Oh, no.
to post a photo of the Tres Amigas hours after it had been released that Shannon had done. Yeah, correct.
Really?
Trying to promote the Tres Amigas like cocktail hour show.
No way. Is this real?
I'm not even joking. She took it down.
Oh,
it was
okay.
Uno, dos, tres, live. Come on, hashtag whoop it up with the Tres Amigas in person for our third live show. We'll be at the Stand Up Live, hashtag Phoenix, on Thursday, November 16th, 2023 for an evening of fun without the hashtag reality show drama.
Oh my God. Okay, so she posted it, but then obviously she got a lot of feedback and took it down. Okay.
I mean,
is there a world that she posted this and didn't know what was going on?
It's Vicky Gunvalson. She didn't realize her husband didn't have pancreatic cancer for 5 years. Or her boyfriend.
God.
Girth Brooks. I mean, her daughter literally was like, he said Girth Brooks, and he told Ryan,
Gross.
you need to hit her.
Gross.
And Vicky's like, what? No, not Brooks. Never. I mean, yeah, of course there's a world where she is just blithely unaware. But I also think there's a world where Vicky's like, well, got to strike while the iron's hot. And let's just promote our cocktail variety hour on the coattails of a hit and run.
God.
I mean,
after a night of tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to be good branding. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. They have to call Taylor Swift on that one to figure that one out, because I don't know how the fuck they're going to make that.
By the way, somebody
make some money.
A follower commented on Vicky's photo saying, after last night, it might be Dos Amigas for a while.
Oh my God. And do like Dos Equis? Instead of Tres Amigas, it's Dos Amigas with Dos Equis. They have to get a different sponsor.
Oh, I think Shannon might be busy.
Oh my God.
Also, I just want to say this too.
Okay.
I always knew this because I would anecdotally hear it from my friends. You, even Eeps has said this. The way that we as humans favor dogs over other humans is beyond.
I know. Yeah.
I just want to say to all the Redditors out there, you know who you are. Everyone's like, is Archie okay? I mean,
yeah.
They know Shannon's okay, but everyone wants to know if Archie's okay.
Well, we don't have any information. I mean, we know Archie, I hope, is alive. I think.
Sure.
But I mean, yeah, we don't know any information on Archie. He didn't have any consent getting into that car.
I know.
Little Arch. Well, that's how you know the judgment was really fucked.
I know. Somebody said that. They pointed that out.
I will say,
she would never want anything to happen to Archie.
Yeah.
Like, that's her benchmark, but obviously not. Because she hit a curb. Sorry.
More than that.
I mean, do you think they felt it in the house? I bet you they thought it was an earthquake.
I mean, they definitely heard it. Because the girlfriend came out right away, and she could see that she had already driven off. So the girlfriend was like, I could tell that the person wasn't dead because they drove off. But when she
that's
what she said.
That was the signifier.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
It wasn't Archie.
No, Archie. Archie took off.
Yeah. She was like, I came out. And we saw the video. The street's not very long.
No.
But by the time the girlfriend came out, Shannon was like just backed up, and it was just at that point, like barely going forward. So, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know.
Somebody speculated that perhaps maybe it was Shannon covering for Archie.
Archie, it's your turn to drive tonight, baby.
Archie's DD.
Have y'all seen those great cat videos of the cat by the steering wheel? And they always dub it over. Oh my God, I'm going to send it to you.
No.
It's mainly on TikTok. I'm going to have to send it to you. It's hysterical. It's this cat.
I'm a cat lover.
I know. So it's this one cat, and they like position it to where it looks like its paws on the steering wheel. But the cat's face and like the attitude of the cat is just like, whatever, what the fuck ever. And all of it is like, me getting to work on Monday morning. It's like all these captions of like different things on like the cat, and it's just funny. So I have to send it to you.
Yeah, you'll have to send it.
To you and Eeps, because I know Eeps likes cats too.
That.
Yeah.
Guys, that's my birthday gift, because let's be real, Betsy doesn't like cats.
That's not true.
You like my cats. You like my cats.
I like your cats. I like all of my friends' cats. I have never met a cat that I really, really disliked, except for a cat in college, because it hissed at me when my hair was down. I think it thought I was the devil or something with my red hair. Because I would come over and my hair would be up and it would be fine. And then
magic.
And then when my hair was down, and it would go under the bed. That's not fair. Now, I don't know that I would ever own a cat myself, just because my mom's allergic, so I never had one growing up. And I have dogs, and I know dogs can be okay with cats if you get them young and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know that I'm ever going to own a cat, but I love cats. I love don't look at me like that.
No, I just had this moment. I think this is a perfect time for us to transition.
Cats to RHONY?
Do any of these women on RHONY own pets?
Wow.
They don't.
Do they?
I don't know.
I feel like maybe Jenna had a Chihuahua. Am I making that up?
When did we see that?
I don't know. You know why we don't know? Because we don't see them do anything in the city. We don't see them go on walks. We don't see them do anything.
You. I'm like, wait,
we don't see them buying food. We don't see them feeding anyone. So if they have animals, I guess we don't know.
We don't see it in round robin, so they probably don't.
Oh my God, that's how we should have known.
That's how we should have fucking known.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Oh, buckle up, baby. Again.
I feel like Meryl and Death Becomes Her. I need to check my pulse. Yeah. Am I live?
No.
Real quick, because we're already on the theme of existential doom.
Mm-hmm.
We have to circle back to this because we talked about it last week. Bethany Frankel.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I can't.
She's very upset. And she, of course, went on TikTok.
Yeah. You know what? I saw it and I kept on scrolling. Because I didn't want to fuck my algorithm. I can't. She's insufferable. So I had to keep it moving.
Okay. Well.
So what is she saying?
She says apparently she's canceled.
Okay.
And a former housewife claims that she has white savior complex.
Okay.
And by former, she means Carol Radswell.
Okay.
Okay.
Her ex-bestie.
Frankel called Radswell stupid and arrogant.
Okay.
After later slammed her as white savior for giving TJ Maxx employees her barely used makeup items. I'm really getting fucking sick of stupid people trying to act smart, and stupid is as stupid does.
Okay.
It's saying that I'm trying to be a white savior to people of color by bringing them makeup. Okay. That's not what this is. Okay. Because she just assumed that people at TJ Maxx, because it is a store that is, you know, a discount store.
Yeah, they can't afford it.
Would not be able to afford the makeup. She made a comment when somebody asked, why would you think that they can't afford X, Y, and Z? Because they work at TJ Maxx, she responded.
What a bitch.
She did. Somebody else, then that person said, okay, but what does that mean? They only make $30,000 a year there. Okay.
What?
So, yeah.
She's gone. Something's amiss. Something is happening in her brain. She's done.
I need Bryn to remove the cell phone. I need Bryn.
Is Bryn filming this?
No, I just need her to do a sneak attack. Do a coup d'etat.
Shouldn't be on
coup d'etat.
Shouldn't be her responsibility. Her assistant or somebody needs to stop it.
I know. I was trying to make a joke, but
it's okay.
I know. I was parentifying.
Well, when you first said Bryn, I went to RHONY, and then I was like, oh no, we're talking about the daughter.
Oh.
But I got there pretty fast. I was like, oh, it's the
other
daughter.
Bryn.
But I just,
She's
her,
upset.
not only to be so out of touch, but then to really double down. It's one thing to be out of touch and then receive feedback and critiques, and then be like, oh wow, maybe I got it wrong. I'm sorry. Maybe next time I'm going to think about it this way. No, they can't afford it. Because you know these people individually. First of all, how do you even know how much they make? But even if you do, you don't know their life circumstance. You don't know what they do. You don't know if they work 3 jobs. You don't know what the fuck these people do. And for you to come on and be like, well, no, they can't afford it. It's TJ Maxx. Fuck you. Yeah. I can't with her. I can't.
And she does have white savior complex.
She's saving nobody.
Least
of all herself.
Exactly. She's upset. She's upset that people assumed that.
Canceled.
She's not canceled.
I need to know if anyone out there is still standing behind this woman. That's what I want to know. Not ironically. Like if people are like, oh, I'm here for Bethany no matter what. Because to me, the Bethany that we used to have, we don't have that person anymore. I don't know what's happening with her. Something's wrong.
She feels bored. Is she having an identity crisis?
I don't know, but when I'm bored, I don't. I just watch Parenthood or Friday Night Lights.
Well, of course. When you're bored, you're not giving your makeup to fucking TJ Maxx,
no,
okay?
I'm not.
None of us are doing that. But there is something, it feels like she's just out of touch.
I think she's just trying so desperately to stay relevant, and TikTok is now the way. And she might be the example of there is no bad attention. So as long as I'm getting attention, even if it's bad, I like it. Keep using my name. Keep clicking on me. Keep listening to my podcast with Rachel/Raquel.
I saw a meme of somebody making a joke saying, do you think she's going to have Archie next on her podcast?
No, he's too likable. She can't do that. He would outshine her.
I don't know. I need her to retire.
She won't.
From social media for
just
a little bit.
Block her on the interwebs.
No, we're following her ironically. We need to know.
Oh, okay.
We need to know what's going on. Because you're not going to follow her.
No, I'm not.
Then what are we going to give the people? The people also probably don't want to listen to this.
Yeah, guys, did you like this story?
I know.
They might have. I don't know.
Well, speaking of...
One unlikely to another unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, from one out-of-touch person to another.
Yeah.
Well, are you mad? Is that strong? Is that a strong word to use?
No, this episode sent me.
Okay.
It sent me over the edge.
Well, I really want to hear from you.
With Aaron.
I haven't really heard your thoughts.
I might have yelled. I was joking with a friend that I had a group of friends over, not this week, but 2 weeks ago when Texas played Alabama.
Oh, I missed my invite.
Certain people were invited. They didn't show up. Not you. But
did you?
Anywho,
you
I remember you were tired. You didn't want to go out. But I said it's probably better that you don't because I don't know how this game's going to go and it might get aggressive.
I don't remember that.
So regardless, I was at my parents' house and I had my dogs over there. And, there's a lot of yelling, with football and stuff like that. And I was joking to one of my good friends, because Scout was there, who's my lab. She's kind of now conditioned, screaming and yelling. She can kind of hang out. She doesn't really get nervous because it's, directed at the TV. And I told my friend, I said, believe it or not, Scout's used to this because when I watch Bravo, I sometimes behave in similar ways. I get very angry and really elevated.
I've seen it.
And my friend was like, oh, she just thought I was joking. I was like, no, but really, sometimes, it is kind of a joke, but then sometimes I'm like, what the I get angry. And this is an example of an episode where I I just kept yelling like, well, what the fuck? And like, I'll like, and I do my notes voice to text. So sometimes,
what does that look like?
Well, I showed you. It's
hooked on
paragraphs.
phonics. Seriously.
Hooked on fucked up phonics. Yeah, I had some moments that I was very agitated. Everything is towards Aaron. Honestly, a little bit with Sai, but Aaron overwhelmingly sent me to the dark place.
But there's a lot of uncomfortability, and people, they want to say how they're feeling, and then they do, but then people chastise them for it. Just feels very set up everyone for failure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just didn't feel like there was ever going to be a win for anyone. We start the episode out. Sai comes downstairs, Bryn's in the kitchen, and this is really what the biggest red flag to me was. Because Sai says, you have to make the most out of your time when you're in paradise. And I thought, you have to make most of your time when you're in paradise. So then why are we spending all these episodes berating people and accosting them for not telling their story? Tell your story. Okay. Well, because Bryn was at dinner, we see Aaron filling her in. Okay. Again, another red flag. Well, not even red. I guess we should have, I feel like we probably should have guessed this, but.
Celery juice?
Yes, thank you. By the way, thank you. We are akin.
Yeah, we're connected.
We're very connected. The way she got hot and bothered about the celery, I'm what?
She's so bland.
Oh.
She's so...
Celery juice is disgusting. I mean, guys, I've had it. I lived in LA for 10 years, please.
Yeah.
I know it's rich coming from me. I definitely am woo-woo, for sure. But I'm also like smoking a pack of cigarettes, like while I'm also...
She's balanced.
Yeah, seriously.
She's
I'm
balanced.
like, I need my celery juice and I need my pack of Marlboro Lights. Okay? I'm serious. I'm like, and my Adderall and my Ativan and my weed and my water. Got it?
Yes, you're balanced.
My Shannon tincture. My tincture.
Yes. Oh my God.
The product that never was.
Your book coming out soon, baby. The Balanced Life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing to be like, okay, celery juice
The
is
weight
good
of
for
beautiful.
You. Yeah, we never read that one, guys.
No.
Maybe one of these days we should do a book report on some of the
Rabdar Gab. Read a book, do a report, get a buck. Remember that?
we'll do little cliff notes. It's one thing to like be like, okay, I'm gonna do celery juice because it's supposed to be good for you and it's healthy. It's one thing to be like, oh, you know the way to my heart. Like you got a heart on for the celery juice. That's
key to my heart on is bringing me celery juice. Like
yeah.
Well, you said it. You're like, she probably loves missionary.
Yeah, I did say that. Off my
Guys, I feel like we're gonna get creamed for this fucking episode.
No pun intended.
We are just poking fun, but
yeah, we are.
the celery juice. Wow. Okay. Hey, to each your own. And to our listeners out there who love celery juice, we're not talking about you, okay?
We're not talking about you.
Yeah,
because you're more than the juice, and we can tell.
Yeah, you're the cocktail. So donate a cocktail. realitybites.com.
But no celery.
We have no fucking website, guys. Please do not go to a website.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Bryn missed dinner.
Right.
She gets to R&R, rest and relaxation. Okay. So Aaron fills her in. Of course, we know that the fill-in is always going to be some type of like just not what actually happened, because Aaron's way of filling in is just she editorializes.
Yeah.
She takes creative liberties. Okay.
Yeah.
And she tells her that she just feels like Jessel always hears a story and she's trying to make their story her story, the never-ending story.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what this is.
Yes, it is.
Let it go.
Yeah, we want to,
but they
want
won't.
to.
Yeah, but they won't. They flash to the dinner that we did not get to see.
Which I'm grateful for. I don't even want to complain about.
Same. I'm glad we didn't see it last episode. I'm glad we waited until this episode because I just didn't realize how it was very aggressive. Is that too strong of a word? It was just very... it's like I can understand where they're coming from. I absolutely
They were kind of
understand.
tag teaming her though.
Yes. And I get what they're saying because we saw it in the last episode. They are trying to ask Jessel about her, and Jessel does respond more talking about her parents and her backstory. But we also have to remind everyone, and they need to be reminded, that Uba and Jessel, they come from a different culture. They were not born in America.
Right.
Now, I understand that Jessel grew up in England by and large, but they really carry a tradition and a heritage and a culture with them that I feel like the other women just aren't understanding because they're a little bit more westernized.
Yeah.
And so I get where they're coming from, but let it go. Guys, I've had friends who are very delusional. They will say things that I'm like, what? Okay. but I'm not using it as an opportunity to correct them and to tell them that that's not their story.
Correct.
I get that Jessel's, quote, suffering, the suffrage of Jessel. Okay. I get it. I get that comparatively to the other women, even to myself, if I'm looking from within my inner child, it's not the same. But that doesn't mean that her experience is any bit less than. Now, if she's coming out and trying to compare her life to somebody else's and saying, well, no, my life was harder, like the other women are doing, then I can understand why we're coming at her. But
that's not
so
what she's saying.
Harshly. Of course she's not.
It's the other women who are making more of a connection to Jessel, acting like her upbringing was closer to Si's and Bryn's. I haven't really heard her say anything like that.
Neither have I.
I think I've heard her say like, oh, I came from, and I'm making this up because I don't remember verbatim, but I feel like she maybe has said something like, well, yeah, I had a tough upbringing too, or I had tough times, or, we had to do X, Y, and Z. It was hard also for me. She's not saying, oh, I heard Bryn's story and I related so hard.
Banking it with a negative. 0 cents. Negative sense. Okay.
Yeah. And listen, guys, Jessel is a mess of a storyteller. She is very Dorit in that way. And that's
very much so.
And that's really one of the qualities I'm starting to like about her the most. She says 1,000 words when really she says nothing. Okay. And actually it's kind of an art form. It really is. It's an art. But I think the women, specifically Si and Aaron, are like obsessed with the fact that she says so much and says nothing, and they're like, we don't understand you. And I was homeless. Validate that, but
homeless to Harvard. Toothless, not homeless.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just like I was toothless, but not homeless.
But I had $20 on my account. So one tooth.
Lived with my uncles. Paid for college. I mean, I get what they're saying, but
no, and even Uba. I think Uba says it later, and I was appreciative when she said that. Like, we don't need to compare people's upbringings. It's not like one trauma trumps another trauma. Like, that's not exactly what she says, but that's kind of the idea that, like, everyone has their own story. It might not be as intense as Si's or Bryn's, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a specific experience for Jessel. And we're trying to compare too much. When Jessel's like, I only had $20 in my account. Well, I had 0.
0 cents, negative cents.
This isn't a competition. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I were Jessel and I knew how to tell a story, I wouldn't tell it. I would say, I'm not telling them anything.
No.
Because they're judgy.
It was an inquisition.
They were judging her. And even if Jessel said, you know what? Yeah, actually, I reflected on it. And yeah, I had a pretty good upbringing. I was very fortunate. I guarantee those two women would have been like, we knew it, told you. Or it would have been some response that wasn't even validating. Like, she can't win at this point. I really don't think she can.
What do you need me to say to make this day better for you? I just go back to Olivia.
Exactly.
That's how I felt.
Jessel
what
really
do you need me to say?
Jessel needs some help with someone telling her how to kind of. She needs a producer to be like, say this to them directly.
We see it later, and I was proud. I was cheering. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Woo!
Just don't let Eats hear me say that. Oh, Daddy Rogers. I'm just sad about it, but I can't go there. Okay, so speaking of another trauma, Jenna comes down and she flashes her hoo-ha to everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that and I was like, oh, Jenna's definitely done a reality show, but it was format. This is different. And she forgot. She forgot that, it's wind and
you see everything.
We're going to see it. We're going to see it all. They blur it. I wish they had a little bit more fun blurring that in the edit. I wish they had done the little pixels, for fun.
Yeah. They didn't have enough time. They were trying to put together the story. So they couldn't waste time.
She's on fire today, guys. She's on fire.
God. But Bryn was happy.
Okay. I can't wait to get into that. I really cannot. Okay, so Jenna flashes everyone. Hello, Jenna.
Good morning, darling.
And then we get to Uba coming down. She couldn't sleep last night. She was awoken. Awoken?
Oh, yeah.
Awakened. Jesus. I'm trying to do Elizabethan. You know what I mean? Thou shalt not. Dude, Jessel snores.
Yeah.
That is loud.
That's not me.
No. Congested. Allergies.
That was one time. That was one time, one night only.
The women give her a little bit of a hard time because they're like, why are you trying to deny this? But I also think she's leaning into it.
Oh, she's having fun, guys. She's having fun. Snores. She's denying it, but so delusionally that she knows that she does it, and she's laughing. I'm so glad that moment didn't turn into anything else.
Because I honestly thought it was going to. Because I really thought. I felt it.
Honestly, Jessel has handled so much this season, and I know we gave her a hard time at the beginning, and I think rightly so. She's settled in a little bit more for me, and I think that she's able to roll with the punches. And I like that this scene was super, super lighthearted. I mean, the fact that Uba recorded it, to each their own. But
brilliant. Thank you, Uba. And this is what I expect
and
of
then we
all
got
my
the
cast
video
members.
too, and I was like,
Yeah.
what are we watching though? Is she under the covers, or was it like I couldn't quite understand that video?
Who knows?
But I just that wasn't me.
Nope.
It was the stand-in. I was the producer. The stand-in
Archie.
actor.
Somebody else.
Archie probably does snore.
Can we just
Archie,
superimpose Archie into every franchise? Okay.
Archie's our new cover art.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do that this
Oh,
week.
you didn't like that? Oh,
no,
that's
no.
great.
No. That was a like
you
I
liked
like
it?
that.
Okay.
I like that.
We're looking out for you, Arch.
The women get dressed. They get ready to go on boat day. Love a boat day.
Boating.
Sai wants everyone to know that when she plans a boat day, she makes sure it's luxe.
Food everywhere.
I mean, just a
I actually
reminder.
didn't see any food though. Was there food on there?
There was supposed to be, but I don't think that we see it.
Okay.
They must have. Maybe they filmed it and they cut it out.
I guess we did see them at the table. I just don't remember them eating. Maybe like some fruits.
There was
and...
like crudité.
Yeah,
there was things out, but that's what Jessel points out later is that she's excited because they're gonna have lobster.
Oh, that's right.
But
that's right.
They must have ended up on the cutting room floor, if you will.
Yeah.
Well, because we spent half this episode on this boat. Okay.
Wow, was it half?
No, it felt like that. A lot of here's what I'll say.
This episode was kind of a mess all over the place.
There was a lot of content. This was a heavy content scene.
Yeah.
So we're at the boat, and I get it. I understand that Sai wants to plan the most luxe trip ever. I cannot let it. I can't let her slide. We all know Segment did this. She may have maybe perhaps suggested things, but she didn't plan this. And if she's going to plan it, I want to see a planning scene. I want to see a process scene. I want to see her calling the yacht club.
She's taking all the accountability. None of the work.
Erin, again, has to remind everybody that she needs to throw Uba in. At what point can I throw Uba over? At what point can I throw somebody in the water?
I'm going to throw her in the ocean.
I just want her to stop.
That's what I'm saying. It's very mean girl energy for me.
Does it?
That's how it feels for me. And again, I hate to keep saying this. It's because I don't feel a connection, and I definitely don't feel a connection with Uba and Erin. Have we seen a solo scene with them together? I don't even know.
No, we have not.
I don't feel anything. I don't feel any chemistry. I don't feel anything. So when you add that, it just seems mean. And then I know we're jumping a little bit, but like you get back to the house and she's like, oh, do you want to do it now? You want me to throw you in now? Because you know it's coming. Do you want to do it now? And I'm like,
I hated
this
it.
feels so fucking weird.
I felt violating. Like, enough.
Y'all, even Ramona's not that uptight. I just like, I don't even, it was baffling to me. Yeah. But yeah, she's like, oh, I'm gonna hurl her over in the ocean. I was like, okay, why does that sound aggressive? Like, the thing about Erin is she misses the mark to be funny. So it's
like a linebacker in conversation. Like she's just like, seriously though, doesn't it?
She has no finesse. It comes across as a bitch. It doesn't come across like funny. Like she's not a Stassi. Like Stassi's a bitch, but Stassi's funny.
Yeah.
Right? She doesn't have that finesse. So when she says things,
like Madison.
Even Madison, like Madison's a bitch, but Madison has finesse and she has humor and Bethany had, I don't know what she's doing now, but Bethany back on the show had humor. She was quick. Erin doesn't have that in the toolbox. And if she does, she's not using it. So even when she says things as silly as like, well, I'm going to throw her in the ocean, even though we know it's like a joke, it doesn't come across that way because she actually seems kind of aggravated. And she's like, I can't wait to do it. I'm going to do it. And what makes us think she's going to do it is because she's obsessively talking about it.
She's boundaryless. And so is Bren. And this is the thing that...
But she'll tell Bren that she's
I know,
boundaryless
but the two
and she'll
of them,
expect something different from her.
Correct. The both of them are boundaryless.
What was that?
That's what Bren does. And Jenna's like, how do you do that? This is how you do it, Jenna.
Wait, okay. Was this when they were sitting at the table and she puts her finger in her mouth?
She's like, do like this, like...
How did I miss the noise that they were doing, though?
Because I'm a masochist. Okay, I watched it 3 times.
Yeah, I missed that.
And she starts sucking on Jenna's finger. I understand that Jenna kind of plays it off, and she's like, yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You are taking more of like, oh, they're being funny and flirty. But I was...
Yeah, because I didn't read Jenna as uncomfortable in that situation.
Well, she plays it off, but there's still... Here's the thing. I think that, again, like you said earlier, if she knew Bryn in a certain way, she probably wouldn't really think twice about it, right?
Right.
But because Jenna's trained, she's media trained, she understands like how to just be quick on her feet, like on the red carpet and things like that. It's very slight, but I can tell behind the eyes, like she's just kind of taken aback a little bit because you're not expecting somebody to suck your finger. these are the types of things that, like, I get that Bryn's trying to be flirty.
Yeah.
But I think that, and I've seen it on other franchises where there are women who are bisexual or lesbian or fluid, whatever they would like to call themselves, somehow it seems to always kind of open up the doors ajar for other housewives, I think, to feel like, oh, well, let me be playful. I can be a little bit more, maybe I can cross the line a little bit more than I would normally do that. The only reason why I resonate with it is because these types of things happen to me and did happen. So when I first came out, I would notice that maybe certain friends of mine felt a little bit more comfortable that were straight, or even guy friends of mine. There just seemed to be, because there's a sexualization, I think, with gay women, that there just seems to be a little bit more comfortability with other, like, straight women or even women who maybe are questioning. They
So,
seem
like,
to
cross the line.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's crossing the line, but it's also, I understand why they're doing it, but to me, it's just too much. And I felt a little uncomfortable.
I think that's fair. I do. I think that's fair.
Okay, I'm off my soapbox now, guys.
I didn't, honestly, I didn't see it in the moment on her, but I think that that's completely valid. I think where I was like, oh, I found it fun was because Jenna kind of held up the act the rest of the episode.
She does,
you know,
a little bit.
They're like, oh, you're bringing me breakfast in bed. And then, like, there was that other scene where, like, Jessel was like was it Jessel? Someone was like grabbing Bran, like, near her butt. And
Yes.
What's her face was like, get off of her, like, meaning like she's mine. So it's like I just kind of felt like it was like kind of like a act at some point. They were both kind of in on it. But I think the scene you're talking about specifically, I mean, I do think Bran crosses the line.
Yes.
We thought that with the trainer when she was like, I can, even in this episode,
I know.
with the captain, she's like, I could ride you. You know, she's inappropriate. She's inappropriate. I think that, you know, we shouldn't just gloss over it. I think it's easy to just look at it as fun and fluff because everyone else is kind of like, right? But I mean, yeah, it's inappropriate.
She just stays too long at the party.
Yeah.
That's really what it is for me. She just stays too long. I'm like, okay, like, abort,
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but it just felt like, oh my God, okay, we got it. Suck her finger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh God. Okay.
She wants it.
So did you catch when Jenna came out of the boat? I guess she must have put it on her wetsuit.
Oh,
It is very clear to me why she's wearing a wetsuit.
Yeah.
I don't even think twice about it. I didn't think twice until we see Sai in confessional. Jenna, get out of your wetsuit, girl. Why? I don't understand.
Because these women need others to live exactly how they live. They need them to have sex with their husband the way they have sex with their husband. They need them to be body positive about their body because of how they view themselves. They judge each other based on how they live life differently. Jessel doesn't know where she belongs. Jessel identifies herself based on her parents' story. I don't do that with myself, so Jessel's wrong and Jessel's mistaken.
Sure.
It's just I've never seen a cast like this, and it really is very much Aaron and Sai that really have judgment for women based on how they think they should do things.
But they're scorched earth about it.
I know.
It is insufferable. It's exhausting.
And it's like, this is now the like third or fourth time we've had to talk about Jenna and how she feels about her body. So why just let it happen?
Well, I will say that I wonder if Sai really is just trying to be funny and confessional, but it does not land. This is not landing. She sounds like she's just making fun of her.
I think Sai is funny. No, but that did not work for me.
It just felt like she's judging her. It's almost as if she had no earthly idea that she has a genetic condition.
That you can let it slide, but we know that she knows. And she knows really more than anyone because she got to go to that scene when they were doing the eyelashes and stuff. So these women are just very, very, very judgy.
Well, what's the deal with the wetsuit? They give Heather a hard time in Orange County for wearing a wetsuit.
Well, but again, to me, that's funny. That to me is more comedy because Heather's only doing it because of germs. It has nothing to do with like she feels insecure about her body.
Sure.
And, you know, she looks like a whale trainer, right? So that to me feels different. And also, not that Heather and Emily have this long history, but there is a history there. There's like camaraderie there a little bit. So it reads totally differently. And I just, again, the element of this episode specifically was very mean-spirited to me. All the way around. Mm-hmm. That was like my main takeaway. Takeaway.
Rotten hail.
Rotten hail.
Rotten hail.
Yeah, I'm Brittany today. It's just very mean. All the way around, honestly.
Bryn doesn't want to get her hair wet. Why get your hair wet when you're already wet?
I think I missed that.
By the way,
part,
I am literally going to
honestly.
point out all this because it is rampant. I am not a prude by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not puritanical. However, she stays too long at the party. Make the joke, move on. But she lingers.
Yeah. I think I missed this joke.
Oh, well, she's wet. She's wet and wild.
That's what Bryn says?
Yes, that's what she's saying. Like, I don't want to get my hair wet. Why get it wet when you're already wet?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
I get it. Why is it not landing sometimes?
Because, well, exactly what you're saying. You're staying too long. Yeah. It's one to do it every now and again if it feels right or if it seems kind of organic. If you're doing it every single time, you're trying to force it and make it part of your personality. And I do know that she is flirty, but it's a little over the top. If you're doing
it's not believable. I don't think that Bryn is like this all the time.
Well, it's like
I can't. No, don't even go there. Wrong hole. Don't. No.
Oh,
I thought you were. Oh,
no,
see, I thought you were going to go there.
Oh, I forgot. No, I wasn't. I was gonna use an example of like when at the beginning of Orange County, Tamara and Eddie talked about sex so much that it made me believe that they weren't having any sex. There's something to be said when you're talking so much about something that I'm like, oh, you're overcompensating. Like maybe Bryn isn't having sex and maybe it's really affecting her and maybe she's just trying to over-sexualize everything. I don't know.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's probably used as a little bit of a deflection tool.
Yeah. And humor. It's light and humorous.
Yeah, it allows her to feel vulnerable and like
her deflection is humor. Big time.
Exactly. So it allows people to kind of get a window into her personality without getting too close.
Yeah.
Because she is very vulnerable in talking about all things sex, which I think the average person probably sees as something that is very private.
Sure.
So if we see her doing that, I think
she's open.
Exactly.
And yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's truth there.
So they split off. Give us a perfect opportunity to get some breakaways, some fallout.
Talk trash.
Jessel needed her bodyguard. Oh, where's Kevin Costner when you need him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They came after her. Wanted to know where she worked when she first moved to New York City.
What zip code did you live in?
Up and coming neighborhood of Tribeca. She's like, I live in the up and coming neighborhood of Greenpoint in Brooklyn.
I don't even know what that is, but
we're related. Like you grew up in Brooklyn. We're close. We're kinship. We're together. Okay, so again, we have to go back to her explaining that she lived with her uncle, had her first internship, but they wanted a timeline because Aaron thinks that Jessel's lying. Why would she lie about that? She came from a wealthy family? No, she did not. What's it to her? Here's what I'm going to say about this.
Tell me.
I have to give Bryn a lot of kudos.
Okay.
Because as much as we see her disloyalty just run rampant 5 minutes later after this, she is pushing story. She is allowing Jessel to tell her side in a very open and honest way without shutting her down or without telling her what the other women have said or what Aaron's told her, because we need to get it all out. Bryn was really good in this. She was self-producing. I think she also learned that she needs to pipe down because the last couple of episodes, Aaron also accused her of lying. It's so, like, what is the fucking deal?
A hop, skip, and a jump ago, she was lying about her fertility meeting, doctor's appointment, whatever.
They can't believe that Jenna would ever want to get there early because she's uncomfortable in her skin. They don't believe that.
Yeah, it was all about first class.
Exactly.
It's not her skin disorder. It's that she wants to go first class.
Bryn's intake? No way they asked her about a sperm donor right then and there. No way. They don't do that. This is life.
She wasn't even listening to the story.
I know.
When you watch the flashback, she is so quick to be like, that's not how it's done.
She's trying to get Uba's attention, and Uba literally does like the side eye, like, yeah.
Yeah, dude,
she's like,
Uba does not like her. No,
I mean, I think that she tolerates, and I think she's open to her, but I think that this was the last straw.
Yeah, tolerating someone, you don't like them. You tolerate them. So she doesn't like Aaron, and yeah, this is definitely see ya. But yeah, she doesn't even give Bryn the space to talk about her experience. My friends, I have lots of friends who've been through this. None of them went through that.
The woman
she doesn't even have first experience with it, but yet her friends never had to do that.
The woman felt like she had to stay in the night before because
correct,
her feelings were hurt, and she just needed to have time to herself.
Yeah, she needed a reboot.
But then the next morning, she has so quickly forgotten that Aaron did this. So does it not relate to her?
I don't know. I wonder if there must be an essence with Aaron that she really, really wants to be friends with her and she really likes her because she lets her off the hook a lot.
I think the women look at Aaron as like the cool girl.
That's
like the leader of the pack. I want to know what pack that is. Hyenas?
I'm shocked. I'm disgusted and I'm embarrassed.
Well, I honestly think so. Bryn should be able to easily relate to this. It just happened 12 hours before.
Yeah.
But yet she cannot find any common ground in this. She does not see it. In fact, she goes and tells the women very quickly after the fact. They go up to the upper deck of the boat and they're talking about it. I mean,
Yeah.
These women have no loyalty. And I know that you're going to say they're not friends, and I get that. I understand.
Guys, drinking game,
there's no
but no
loyalty.
driving. No driving. Drinking game. Every time we say they're not friends, take a shot.
There's no loyalty.
No, there's no loyalty. There's no loyalty at all.
So at the same time, I was happy that Bryn was driving story and really, I felt like she was really allowing Jessel to have the platform, an open dialogue.
Yeah.
To feel comfortable and kind of saying whatever it is that she wanted to say without feeling like you're lying, accusatory, no way, da 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 da. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh, cool. Well, this was all in vain. I mean, it's helpful for us as viewers, but at the same time, I just...
Well, Uba is having some loyalty to Jessel. I think that's probably the closest tie we have, right?
Yes.
Because Uba's the only one that's like, I understand. And she was at the dinner, right? I mean, I think with Bryn, because Bryn didn't go, I think Bryn was more open to hearing Jessel's side because she also was not there. So she heard Aaron's retelling. We have to, water that down with some delusion. And now we're going to hear Jessel also delusion. But somewhere we're going to get some overlap of like Bryn being able to make up her decision on which side she wants to fall with.
She went into that conversation predisposed. She already felt this way about Jessel. I don't know. I just feel like, couldn't we just wait a little bit? Just a tiny bit? Until dinner, maybe?
No.
That's why we're at this boat forever.
Get it off on the boat. Throw it overboard, if you will. Along with Uba, apparently. Aaron. She's going overboard.
God.
Swimming with the fishes. Yeah, this scene when they all get back together and we have to rehash the upbringing of Jessel. Was she or wasn't she poor? Was she or wasn't she a princess with an elephant? Is she her parents? Is she herself? Who is she? Did she come over on a boat? Was the boat on fire? What is your story? What is your story? And guys, all of the conflict that comes from RHONY is talking about the background. You know why? Because they don't know anything about each other. They don't know anything about each other. That's why, oh my God, that was another moment I was just laughing. I was like, they are fighting about Jessel's background because they don't know who she is. They don't know who each other's background is at all.
What's Aaron's background?
New York real estate royalty or some shit. I don't know. Exactly.
Okay. Just curious.
One liner. That's it.
Because we haven't really gotten too much from her.
Right. I mean, correct. The only one that we sort of know is Jenna Lyons because of what we know publicly.
Oh, you mean when they forced her to speak?
Yeah. And then she cried. What? Stop crying.
She's being vulnerable, finally.
AKA guys, Beverly Hills.
I can't.
Garcelle.
The way that people think that crying is vulnerable is
no,
just
it's
beyond.
not. It's just
beyond.
Beyond. But yeah. So we're having to talk about, how we don't believe Jessel's telling us the truth. You're not being authentic, Jessel. That's what Aaron says. You're not being authentic. You're not telling us the truth.
You think a boat captain is a pilot for an airplane.
Okay.
You don't know anything, Jessel. You're a liar. Montessori, preschool.
This is how I know that we're lacking some comedy because that was a good moment when Jessel was like, oh, the pilot. Because Jessel's really calling him a pilot. And, Aaron tries to make it funny in the confessional and it's fucking flat. I mean, Heather Gay is funnier. And I'm really going on a limb on saying that because flatlining. She thinks that the pilot is the boat captain. Like,
it's very like Jaggy and Phoenix. They're surrounded by diversity. You mean the people who work for you? Yeah.
Well, that is comedy.
I know. Horrible, but comedy.
No, terrible, but
like,
comedy because Dorit's so delusional and out of it.
It's Heather fucking Dubrow. Like, guys, I just want to take time right now. We need to give thanks. Look at these people. They're reminding us what it was like the pioneer frontier days. Yeah, I'm done. Well, and then on SLC we see their garments. It comes full circle.
Yeah, it really,
It does. It feels very Puritan.
Yeah, going back into time. But yeah, I don't understand why Sai's getting so angry.
Because the answer is never simple with you, Jessel.
But I also feel like if Jessel gave a simple answer, it still wouldn't be good enough, right? And I think Jessel finally starts picking up on that. Like, I'm at the point that I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care what y'all say. I don't care. I don't care. And I kind of feel that way too, because I don't think it's ever good enough. But
what do they want her to say?
they want her to say that she grew up privileged. And that's why because here's the deal. I really believe, maybe not so much Sai, but I'm going to clump her in. Sai and Aaron, I think, look at Jessel as like a stuck-up, snobby woman.
Why? Because she has an English accent?
I don't know. And because, her mom, it helps her. And the way that, it kind of maybe what we talked about her at the beginning, like she kind of seems like she wants to put on this facade of like, I have it all together. I worked hard and I have it all, right? Even though we kind of poke holes in that story and we can kind of be like, wait,
Sure.
but we don't know that we have it all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there might be some that they think maybe she's putting it on and they want to make sure that we know that she is a fraud. And so I just think that they don't have, for lack of any better word, I feel like they have a lack of respect for her. They don't really respect her. So they're trying to get to the root of like why you are the way that you are, because we look at you and we don't really see it. So tell us.
I understand that, but Jessel is the daughter of immigrant parents.
I don't think they care about that.
There's an entire...
You are not your parents. We want to hear about you. That's what Sai says. Yo, that's your parents' story. We want to hear what you are. Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling on the boat? I don't understand. She got so elevated.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was to Uba's point when she's like, our families, it's a different dynamic. Culturally, we are our family. We are our parents' experience. And I think that's where it's getting lost. And you mentioned that earlier. Like, I think that's maybe where it's getting lost on these two women that just cannot understand why Jessel's story doesn't make sense. Her background is a mystery.
My family's been in Texas for generations before Texas became Texas. It was Mexico.
Yeah.
My grandparents and my mom and my aunt, they just weren't afforded some of the same privileges, even though they'd been here forever, right? So they weren't technically immigrants. They are third, fourth generation Mexican Americans. That's part of my backstory that has an effect on how I operate as a human being.
Yeah.
It's not that hard of a concept.
Well, it is if you're in your own world and you can't see outside of yourself, which is Aaron.
I mean, it's just so fucking rude. Constantly trying to say your life was hard. You don't get what we're trying to say. I mean, she had a perfectly fine life. Her life was so incredibly hard. You lived with your rich uncles? So the fuck what? I don't understand why she can't say that she didn't have a whole lot. And also at the same time live with her uncles. Do you think that if she had a lot, she would have just lived on her own?
It doesn't work for them because I don't think they like her. And I think that she seems stuck up. And Sai annoyed the shit out of me, but Aaron saying your life was not hard.
Did you grow up in a horrible situation?
This is when I got elevated at the house. Don't tell anybody else that their life is not hard. You don't know a fucking single thing. And I think even Jessel says that. Oh, did you live my life? Did you live my life? You know everything? And Aaron's like, I'm not trying to make you feel blah, blah, blah.
Yes, you are.
And yeah, Jessel's like, yeah, well then, yeah, you are. Like Aaron being like, your life wasn't hard. Then why are you asking these questions, Aaron? If you know what her life was and you have, the assumptions, if you're going to assume everything and then why are you so bent out of shape that she's not telling you everything? You already fucking know. So shut the fuck up and ship the fuck out.
I don't understand why Sai can have a backstory. And there are so many variables that make up who Sai is, right? But Jessel can't have the same thing. I don't understand. I really am having a hard time understanding this.
Well, I think some of it falls on, that Jessel isn't very clear. And I get that. I can validate that.
Totally get it.
Because Sai telling her background story, we as viewers, we got it. Because it was clear, concise. It was very easy to digest she really painted the picture. Jessel doesn't do that. For whether it's subconscious or not, she doesn't. She's like word salad. She's like me, word salad. She says a bunch of things and you're like, wait, what are you talking about? She's a Dorit. So I think part of that is that it's hard to understand because we don't really know what she's saying. And part of that is comedy, right? When they flash to the different times of the time passing and Jessel's still talking and part of that plays to the comedy. But I think it's more so that they don't understand. Sure. But then just say you don't understand. Don't now make assumptions of well, not only do I not understand, but also you're lying to me. If you don't understand, you can't say that I'm lying to you because you don't understand. So which one is it? And the fact that they're trying to tell her what her life story and background is because they're not understanding what she's saying or because you don't give a clear answer, I can't co-sign that. And it just, your life isn't hard.
Somebody on Reddit was like, why is Sai the gatekeeper of suffering?
Right.
I mean...
Look, good point.
I think from the outside world, by and large, most anybody that I was friends with growing up probably thought my life growing up was totally fine.
Yeah.
Healthy, normal.
Yeah.
You know, I was afforded, whatever. It was awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there are just so many things that you just don't know about a person
Correct.
that they sometimes don't even realize about themselves until they get older and like
Yeah.
they're trying to work through. And it just feels, I don't know, it just feels annoying. And it feels very like bully. Like I hate saying the word bully, but they do. They want to bully her into her saying what they want to hear, which is, you're right, guys. I was lying. I never grew up privileged. Or I did grow up privileged.
That's what they're trying. They're like, no,
She's not going to say that. If that is not part of her reality as delusion as we may think she is, and she might be a little delusional, that doesn't fucking matter. That's still her POV.
And also, you're getting to know her. So just let her tell you her story. Why, why as new friends would I try to open up and
it's not
say
a part of your story.
And then you just be like, you're lying. And then I like when she was like, "Oh, I got it, Erin. You're the assumption girl. You're the assumption queen. A good one. Well,
it was a good one.
It was a good one than anything you've said on the show, Erin.
Yeah.
So
right before this, we see Erin in her confessional, and she's teasing Jessel about the Captain Pilot thing. Did you pick up on in her confessional? It was very like she kind of felt like a grandma. She's like, Jessel doesn't need to be driving machinery. She doesn't even know the name of the person. I'm like,
that's what
why
I'm
do you
saying.
sound like an old geezer?
She was trying to have a comedy moment in there, and she flatlined.
No.
Heather Gay was better with the hair comment with Angie K. That's what I was saying, and that was diabolical. This was worse. She doesn't have the comedy. That's what I'm saying. That scene with Jessel confusing the pilot and the captain was a comedy moment, but none of these women could carry it through. All they did was laugh at her and move along. Like, we don't have anybody sharp. Like a Bethany that could have made a joke. And I don't mean that. Okay, let me retract.
The lights are on, but no one's home.
I don't mean that like these women are stupid. I don't mean that at all. I'm just saying
not.
like we don't have anyone that is quick that can make like a funny joke. Erin's not it.
Being quippy and having a high intellect is not the same. I mean, it's associated. It's correlated.
But I'm not calling these women stupid. That's not what I'm doing. I just but I just I can't.
Well, I am picking up that there is, again, talking about the cultures and their heritage. Uba, thank God for Uba.
Yes,
because,
for real.
I mean, she goes on to explain that maybe what the viewers may not be picking up on or kind of puts the pieces together that any generation of a family, like their parents are a part of their story.
Correct.
Guys, being the child of immigrants is very much in the fabric of who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're a millennial. I don't care if it's 2023. This isn't Ellis Island.
It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, like this is the turn of the 19th century. Like this is not the 20th century rather. Like this is not
like,
you know what I mean?
Tell me that you don't have any tell me how small of a friend group and social circumstance that you have that you can't understand that. Mm-mm. Like to me, I saw such an insight to Erin and who she hangs out with outside of the show and who her circle is and how probably limited it is with different POVs, walks of life, cultures. Like I imagine it's probably real fucking small and limited.
It's disappointing because both of these women, Erin and Sai, both come from very rich cultural backgrounds that I'm disappointed in them both.
Well, yeah, I am too.
I mean,
I don't want to say I'm disappointed because I don't expect much of Erin, but yeah, I'm still disappointed.
Yeah. Well,
this was a bad episode for my relationship with Erin. And I haven't really been liking her for a while. I thought I was really going to like her at the beginning of the season. And, wow, I feel like I got like thrown off of a balcony and thought, no, you were wrong. You were wrong.
Well, we had a listener DM us.
Okay.
Basically, we're changing hearts and minds.
Oh.
Because they went into, I think, this trip really feeling like Erin was going to be kind of maybe stirring the pot a little bit. She was going to be utilized in a good way. And they were excited for that because, we need some texture. We need something. Mm-hmm. I mean, Christ almighty. It's just like a saltine cracker. Mm-hmm. But then after watching this episode, they came to the conclusion, kind of like in the same way that you were talking about earlier, that Erin's just kind of a bitch. Like this isn't fun.
No, but guys, I empower certain bitches because like again, like a Stassi, I love that type. She's fun. Erin is mean. There is a mean.
Stassi was mean too.
Well, okay.
I know, because it lands. I get it.
It's just Erin. It just seems really mean. I don't know how else to put it, and that's why I was really put off. I was put off on the boat, and then we got back on the land, and I was put off again.
Well, Sai's done with this conversation. She's done. Okay, well then why did you start it?
Yeah,
I don't
she
understand.
Screamed, she huffed and she puffed and she goes, I need to go back to the table and eat some food.
She doesn't care.
Done.
She doesn't care anymore. Cool.
I don't care that you don't care.
Yeah, exactly. She's like,
Thank you,
cool.
Jessel.
Neither do I. And I just drove this not yacht. And I was like, oh, Jessel. I was really proud of Jessel.
Yeah.
She really was just like, fuck off.
Yeah, good. Good for you.
I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I wasn't sure if she was going to be able to handle it well.
I think she can because, she's really been taking the brunt of most of the season.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Well, before we leave the boat, Erin wants to remind us one more time. She was one of 5. They fucked with each other. Cannot wait to get Uba back.
She does. It makes sense. This is how I know she feels bad about the phone because of how many times she's mentioned it in the confessional. She has to continue to remind us it's a prank. And you know who started the prank? Uba did. Uba started it because she pushed me in the pool. This is on Uba. She mentioned it like three or 4 times in the confessional.
Yeah. Well.
And I grew up with sisters and we always pranked each other.
God. Erin's like a bounty hunter. She's ready to just fucking take you. She's like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get you back. It does. It feels very aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh, like competitive. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's very,
that's what it is. It's kind of rooted in
competitive.
competitiveness. I'm telling you, it's her family dynamic.
Yeah, like boarding school competitive stuff or some shit.
Maybe.
We need
I don't know.
or private boarding school
I know.
or some shit.
Riverdale Country Day School.
Yeah. Like lacrosse or water polo or whatever the fuck they
Fuck
play
off.
there.
I played water polo. Fuck off. Yeah,
oh
bitch.
my God.
Varsity. Varsity water
Wait,
polo.
is this real?
Fuck yeah, it's
How
real.
I didn't know this.
I don't know. Because you don't know a lot about me. Because we're not friends.
Background.
You know nothing about me.
I think you're lying. I don't think you played. God.
Why would you think I'm making that up?
I haven't seen a single photo.
Privileged.
I've never heard of a single story. I don't know a single teammate's name. You're lying. What are you hiding? What are you hiding? Guys, how ridiculous was that? That is what these women are doing.
I know. It's so wild. I did. For a year. But I was on drill team, so I couldn't do all of it.
Yeah. You couldn't do it all.
I can't do it all, okay? I can't have sex with my husband and play water polo and be a wife.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. So
we head back to the house. We get dressed really quick that we don't see. We get in we get in our whites. Everyone's wearing white.
I didn't even pick up on that.
It's Tamara's
honestly.
baptismal.
It is, I guess, kind of, yeah.
I know. Jenna orders a sex on the beach.
Virgin.
Without vodka. Bryn's like, I'll take one.
With vodka.
With vodka.
God,
Again,
that waitress, she's like, God damn it.
I can't.
Sex on the beach, extra vodka with the sex, please. Heavy on the sex, heavy on the vodka. Light on the beach.
Naked pictures after you drink it. Erin, come here. Grab your camera. Let's go. This is the beginning of the end for me. Bryn picks up on Uba drinking her water like a cat. You're just licking it. And somehow that dovetails into, I've never had any complaints with oral.
And now a tutorial that nobody asked for.
Y'all, I will talk about sex all fucking, y'all hear me make jokes all the time on the podcast, right? Mm-hmm. I hope it's landing. If it's not, please let me know. Because I doesn't
want to be like Erin.
Exactly. I need to right the wrong. Please. I'm begging you. Please tell me.
We accept feedback here. So.
It's a double bind. No, I don't. Unless it's I love you, you're the best. No, we accept all feedback.
Yeah.
Outside of, let's just be kind, right?
Correct.
So it just takes a U-turn.
Mm-hmm.
Or a Shannon Medore turn. It just veers.
Right into the wall. Yeah.
Like, I understand talking about sex, and maybe what this is all rooted in, and God, dare I say this, they're not friends. So it just doesn't, it doesn't feel... Am I rubbing off on you? No, but I think you are. Well, we've been talking about it for so many episodes, but every time I find myself being confused as to why this conversation's not, weird, but it just doesn't feel copacetic. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel cohesive.
Mm-hmm. Well, think about this scene. Sorry to bring it back to OG RHONY,
okay.
But that scene where they were on vacation, and I think it was Tinsley's first season, and they're all at the table, and they've all been drinking, and they all go around, and they're kind of talking about sex, and then they're talking about anal sex and stuff like that. That to me was more of
it's not
cohesive...
right. It's not right. It's not natural.
That's what she said. It's not natural. That's
like,
what Dorinda says.
Only gay men, though. She does make it up. She implies it. She doesn't say it explicitly.
She's
but
like, I'm not homophobic, but it's not natural. It's
not natural.
We're straights, okay?
It's like, Vicky, stop it. Don't do same-sex kissing on camera, Tamara.
Weird. But you know what I mean? Like, that was a scene. It's not that it's about sex. It's about, like you said, like, is it making sense in this moment? And that old RHONY scene made sense because they were all kind of talking about it, and it was just kind of a fun, interesting moment. This was just out of the blue, and
even my dentist is like, honey.
Yeah, it's a little much. It's a little much, and also we don't have the other women making interesting comments on it. That it just kind of flatlines, right?
Well, because she goes, guys, here's a little trick I learned. All you have to do is. And it'll be totally fine. You just pretend. Just pretend cough and choke.
Really gets them off.
And it'll just get them out.
And then I
real
love it
quick.
because they panned to Jenna. And Jenna's like,
not a single person at this table understands any of this. They're like, what? And by the way, I understand where guys, again.
Nothing's lost in us.
No, I understand what she's trying to say. Because, not that I need to explain it, but just so you guys know that I understand. Mm-hmm. She's trying to say that if you act a little bit more like a porn star, that guys like that because it gets them off quicker because they're used to just porn, like choking, I'm sick. Okay, but that I struggle with because, why is she thinking that? Like, I understand what she's trying to say, but how often does she do that? Like, now I have questions.
I don't know.
Even though I'm like, please stop talking about it. I'm like, but I want to know.
Yeah,
I
want to know more.
Erin doesn't think it's appropriate, but like that's it. That's all she says. Like, this is not appropriate. Like, okay.
God.
All right. Okay, Erin.
I take it back. Now I want to know more. Now I want her to keep doing it. I'm uncomfortable. It's inappropriate. No, it was odd, and that's what I'm saying is nobody at that table added like anything. They were all just kind of like, oh, okay. So it made it even
because
more
she's
awkward.
telling them to fake choke.
I under.
just hang on for too long. Don't accidentally really choke.
Don't really
it's like,
choke.
stop, choke.
Yeah.
Why?
I wonder if this is just she really feels like this has to be part of her identity.
That's my point. And if this is more often than not, if cast members are asked or not, I don't want to say accused, but are questioned to kind of get a little bit better understanding as to why maybe they behave this way. They're very defensive. And usually, again, as Nene would say, a hit dog will holler. So if they get defensive, it's because there's a part of them that maybe is recognizing am I embarrassing people? And I get that there's probably a shame to that, and I understand that. Mm-hmm. However, I need, there's something else going on here. It just doesn't feel... It's more than it feeling just inauthentic, or maybe she's leaning into that. It does feel like it is probably a little bit of part of her identity. And I feel bad if that's the case, because it just, I want her to love herself. Sorry, I don't try to get sensitive about it, but
well, yeah.
We know that she comes from a very neglected background. So these things are going to have an effect on her. Mm-hmm. And I think once we know a little bit more, maybe next season, we'll get a better understanding, because this feels more or less than just trying to deflect and be funny.
She's channeling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's channeling. And I think that might also have to do with, when we see that scene with Gideon and we're like, oh my God, this just seems like it works. We know that he's in. She's not in.
No.
She's not in on herself, really.
Exactly.
She can fake it until she make it and all this kind of stuff. But she doesn't believe... I as sad as it is, I don't think she believes that she's a good partner. I don't think she believes she's going to be a good wife. All this stuff. And so she's not really sold on herself. And so maybe this is a way to kind of undercut herself. Oh, well, I'm just I'm a sex god. Blah, 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 all this stuff that's just kind of frivolous. And maybe it's the one thing that she feels like she's actually really good at. Right?
Yeah. I think she has both fear of rejection and abandonment.
Yeah.
And closeness.
Yeah.
So that's why Gideon looks like he's this great guy. And you can tell he really still is very much in love with her.
Yeah.
But I think that she just fears the closeness and what that means. And are they going to leave her?
Yeah. Well, speaking of close is the opposite of this group, because the next game that we get is tell me an embarrassing story. Guys, just so you know, everything that this group does together is tell me something about yourself.
I feel really hypocritical, though.
About what?
Because I make jokes all the time about going in like the wrong hole, whatever. And like I'm here and I'm like, please stop. Did this really happen?
Do
you think it did?
Yeah, I think it did. I don't think she would lie about something like that.
Of course not. But I do think she would probably embellish no differently than Jessel.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just to add a little...
Kind of like a little
flavor.
Yeah, a little punch it over the top. But yeah, guys, let's go around the table. Your most embarrassing story or memory, whatever it is. Who kicks it off? Is Bren the one that kicks it off? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bren... Well...
Torpedoed and launched into the wrong hole. Bombs away. Fire in the hole. It's like, for real. Your butthole's really tight. So like...
Well, who was it in the confessional? Was it Jessel?
Yes. She's like, I don't understand.
She's like, ouch.
Like, not to get too... Just because we're talking about the youth and Bren, I don't want to get like too deep into it, but... Or, no, not deep. Okay.
I understand.
She is like an adolescent, so she's a tween. Mm-hmm. I think there's a world where I can understand this. I think at first I was like, I don't understand, but I'm also thinking it through the POV of an adult. So, you know, I get it, I guess. That's her most embarrassing story, but it's a story that no one knows. So how is it embarrassing?
Well, because it's, I guess.
Oh, see, I thought maybe it was more.
No, I actually can understand that because it's like it's an embarrassing thing to admit, right? Like it's kind of shameful. I mean, even though, you know, whatever, you're young, but I think she's identifying it as herself that it's embarrassing because, oh my God, guys, look what I did when I was in 7th grade. I got my period, all this stuff. So I think it's just a vulnerable moment that she's, you know, sharing with the group that one of these cast members chose to not do. But I'll let you guess who that is. But yeah.
Well, real quick, what's your most embarrassing moment?
God.
Oh, God, forget it.
Well, really, I mean...
Never mind, guys. You know, sometimes I just want to go off the beaten path a little bit. Try to have a little fun, you know?
I'd have to think. I mean, there's been a lot of things that are probably pretty embarrassing.
All right, moving on.
Do you have one off the top of your head that you can think of? I mean, I ran into a building, talk about Shannon Bedore, but I don't even know that I'm not embarrassed by it. Guys, I was totally sober. I was in high school. I was skipping school, though, so... I went to go get tacos.
Delinquent.
Yeah, I was going to get tacos with a friend, Taco Shack, which is right next to the high school that I went to, and I had this blue Jimmy that was like, it was my brother and I shared it. It was like a hand-me-down from him, but it was actually one of the most dangerous cars at that time because it would flip really easily. But yeah, I skipped school, went with a friend, we got tacos in a drive-thru, and I talk about overcorrecting a turn. My drink was about to spill, and I was turning out of the drive-thru, and just reflex, I went to go catch my drink, and I overcorrected, and I hit the building. I ran into a pole, and then into the building next to Taco Shack, and it was a gallery. And so this woman that came out, she's like, my paintings. She thought I broke one of the paintings. It ended up being fine. I didn't break. I didn't hit the wall that hard. But I don't know why I'm telling this because I don't know that I was that embarrassed by it. I mean, I was kind of like mortified. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that this happened. And like, I'm going to get in trouble, but it's not, you know, not really that embarrassed.
I remember mine.
Okay, what is it?
Well, I feel like please, if you guys know anything about me on this podcast, you could probably ascertain that I probably have a lot. But this one just kind of is.
It's shining more than the other ones?
Yeah. So my ex-boyfriend in college, the only guy I ever really had a relationship with. And then it came out later. But
yeah. This is the guy that bonds us, by the way.
Yeah.
In a non-sexual way, but.
How do you know it's not sexual for me?
Liar. She's lying.
Stop it. Don't do it. Same sex. No, stop. Okay, so I think I was probably like 21. Yeah. I think we were both 21. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I texted him. So we were at his apartment and we had a bunch of friends over and we were watching football. It's Sunday. So we were just doing the sports thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And I texted him. I mean, I was kind of being serious, but also was like just being flirty and just being like silly. But I texted him saying, hey, meet me in the bathroom. I'll give you a blowjob. But at the time, when we still had flip phones and it was TXT, right? So you had to like punch the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
So you still had to do that to get to certain people in your contacts. So if you needed to get to M, G, you know, whatever, you would push the button and to get there. Somehow.
Who did you text it to?
My mother. I literally walked. I was like, guys, I accidentally texted my mom that I was going to give Garrett a blowjob.
Oh my God.
And they were like, what? And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And they were like, well, just, you know, like they were trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I quickly, I tried. I tried my best.
What did you do?
I quickly texted my mom and I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm with Garrett and I'm with all of his buddies because he played basketball in college and we're with the team and they pulled a prank on me. They grabbed my phone and they texted you this.
Okay, that's actually pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's actually really, no wonder you're a producer because that's like quick thinking on your feet.
Yeah.
And totally believable.
My mom didn't say anything, but I called my dad and I was like, Dad, I don't know what to do. So I accidentally texted mom, and he chuckled. And he was like, fuck. And I was like, I know. Yeah. Now, in a weird way, and I hate to say this, my dad probably didn't want to recognize that it was probably true. But I think he knew better. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just nothing like texting your mom saying you want to give your boyfriend a blowjob.
Sad day for everyone, too.
God, I know. Choke a little bit.
About it. Man, too bad we didn't have that tutorial before. So who goes next?
Jessel.
Oh, Jessel. Yeah. Honestly, guys, her story was very confusing. I got the gist that she fell and her top came down, but like, again, the story, I was like, where are we going here? I was very confused.
I think that where she was at, it was probably maybe there's swim up bars and then there's also bars that you can sit at, right?
Yeah.
So with it being leveled the way that it is, think of Vicky Gunvalson's grotto in her backyard. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So there's two different levels. So she was probably she's saying that she's at the second level. Mm-hmm. But when I say level, I don't mean stories. It's just kind of, imbalanced. And she was enjoying herself and she slipped. So when she slipped, she landed in the grotto beneath her and without her top off. And everyone was standing there. I imagine like the bar was standing there she was topless.
Yeah.
These women are really lackluster in their embarrassing stories. I think it's across the board for me. Mm-hmm. Even Jenna. I'm like, oh, you tripped?
And yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, God, has anything really, I mean,
what was size?
No wonder. Hers was good. She shit herself at a track meet.
Oh, that's right.
It's a relay race. She was like, okay, so I'm second to run.
I've definitely done that, but not like at a track meet. Like, you know, where you, like she said a shart. So maybe that could be mine, but I honestly don't even know if I was in, like if I was at like a public event or something. I don't know.
I just want to say I'm really sorry for going, because I immediately remembered that when I was working on Bachelor in Paradise, I got Montezuma's and I was vomiting and it was both ends. God. The first day we got there.
Sometimes you can't help it, guys. Sometimes it
was awful. Yeah. I was sick the entire time we filmed that show.
Yeah, but hers was great because it was the track meet and they're like, oh my God, was it coming down your leg? Like that. Well, that was pretty good.
I mean, she was very quick. She was like, okay, I'm second to run. I'm just going to grab the baton. I'm going to do it and I'm going to go bathroom. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make it. Mm-hmm. No.
She didn't make it.
Oh, can you imagine the smell? Guys, we are taking you to a dark place today.
At least
dark holes.
Outside. You know? Yes, with a Z. And an X.
Uba doesn't know if this is embarrassing. But I thought it was endearing. Okay, Uba lands.
Yeah.
It feels endearing. Mm-hmm. It wasn't all that embarrassing. Who hasn't walked out of the bathroom with toilet paper on their shoe?
Yeah.
I think I just talked about that last week. I had toilet paper.
You did.
Was coming out of my shorts. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I get that. But it's just very endearing to me.
Yeah, it is.
So it's landing. It's like, oh, you know. And then Aaron.
All right, guys. I'm going to be vulnerable. But
I'm not going to cry.
I'm not going to cry. Because I'm strong.
Sorry. Betsy's been laughing at this ever since I was talking about Elizabeth Vargas.
I forgot all about her. Yeah, Aaron, I've gone on an airplane. Mm-hmm. My kids, they were screaming, crying. And then she pauses and waits for the reaction. And they realize, oh, that was in the story.
Guys, it's like many of my jokes.
We thought she was going to shit her pants. She thought she was going to shit her pants. She was going to throw up. We thought that maybe she would have taken her top off. Like, we don't know what. It could have been a combination of everyone's story, but yet it ends there. And there goes the relatability of Aaron.
Who hasn't experienced that?
That's it. That's it. Nothing. And also nothing that really has to do with her. It's about her kids. Mm. Like, why couldn't it have been like, oh my God, you were at this prestigious event and your kid shit himself. He took his pants off and shit in the yard. Didn't Dorit's kid do that? Didn't one of the kids do that on Beverly Hills? I can't remember.
He peed.
Oh, okay. All right. So
And somebody had a problem with it. Like, oh, he's peeing. Like,
who cares?
fucking, I can't.
She just doesn't try.
This is her trying.
No. She doesn't try. She doesn't actually want to give any information. You know, she probably has a story out there that she did something silly or something happened.
Sure, I see what you're saying.
And she doesn't want to share that.
Mm.
And she does it in such a way that the women don't even give her a hard time. They're just like, oh, they shit talk her in the confessional, but they're not going to be like, wow, that's it. Like, because I think there's a part of them that's like, all right, we don't even.
So does that mean she's privileged because nothing bad has happened to her?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, Eeps and I were talking about this the other day because I was saying that I feel like Erin was like the popular girl who just like didn't know that she just wasn't really all that cool because everyone just thought she was so cool. Mm-hmm. You know that person when you really get to know them, like it's like don't meet your heroes in real life.
Sure.
You finally become friends with the popular girl. Like I'm thinking like Death of a Cheerleader. Okay. Do you remember that movie with Tori Spelling? Okay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm thinking that like
Lifetime.
I'm thinking Erin was like that girl. Like she was the Tori Spelling where when you finally get to know her, you realize like there's really not all that's there.
Yeah, she's a dud.
But Eeps had a different opinion. She thinks that she's the uncool girl. Like she compared it to being like when you're in prep school, you have tiers.
Okay.
Now you have to understand that every class only has so many people. So every class probably has about 100 kids.
Okay.
That's your entire senior class.
Okay.
So within that prep school class, there's like tiers. And you're first tier, second tier, third tier.
Okay.
Okay. Very much like first string, second string, third string. Okay.
Yeah.
So she thinks that she was a little bit more maybe on the third and fourth tier. So she wasn't as cool, which is why she's a little bit uncool. Like she's cool, but she thinks that she's cool, but she's very uncool. Mm-hmm. She has zero chill, zero cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, what do you think?
I think it might be a combo platter.
Okay.
Okay, I think that there could be truth to that. And so she feels like she has to kind of have a facade. She has to overdo it. Mm-hmm. But then when you meet her, she's dead. So it's all the same.
Cool. So
whether you want to be friends with her, whether you're like, ooh, I finally got her, I'm going to be friends with her.
I know, but did you think she was popular in high school?
Yeah.
Okay, you do. Okay.
I feel like she'd be popular in high school.
That's what I think.
Okay. But we're not the New Yorkers. We are not the New Yorkers, and Eeps, didn't they go to the same school or something? Or
they didn't go to the same school, but with prep schools, there's only so many. So you just kind of know everybody.
So I'll give her some latitude. Maybe she has some insight.
Whatever. I'm the real New Yorker. My family lived there when it was called Newfoundland. Okay. That was before the Revolutionary War. So I want everyone to shut the fuck up. I'm the real New Yorker. All right?
Oh, God.
Yeah. It just
yeah.
It falls flat. And Jess was like, what the fuck is this? That's like, this is not embarrassing me. That's every mother in America in the world. That's not a fun story. It's not fun at all. It's not fun for anyone.
If anything,
why
it's
are you
relatable.
It is relatable.
And the fact that she says it's embarrassing, it shows how much she's judging other moms when their kids scream on planes. Like, she's just not relatable at all. Even when you have a relatable story, you use it as a platform of your most embarrassing story. Like, go fuck yourself.
As a person with no kids, I can't even look at that and think that's embarrassing.
I don't care.
Every time I'm on a plane where I hear a kid crying, the first thought that I have is that mom, I feel so bad for them. I feel bad. Yeah, because you just feel anxiety ridden. So if this was a story about the time that you felt the most anxiety, sure, I could get behind that.
Different, absolutely.
Who was laughing? Was anybody laughing? Was anybody embarrassed?
No.
I guess embarrassing doesn't have to necessarily equate to laughing, but you know what I mean. Everybody understood the assignment, and they all told funny stories because I think that's what I assumed.
She's not funny.
Okay, we have to move on because it just I'll stay here forever. I don't understand. She really does. Who laughs at her jokes at home? No one. That's why she tells the jokes in the friend group. For the first time, she gets to be just Erin. She doesn't know anybody, so she gets to almost. It's not like she's recreating her identity, but she gets to be the girl that maybe tells all the jokes. That is the funny one in the group. That is like the cool girl. It feels like that's who she's trying to really embody.
Okay, and that's why it's missing. Mm-hmm. She's neither of those things. Okay, got it.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah. It's trying
when
hard.
You're not the funny one in the family.
You try to be the funny one in the friend group.
I think so. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe no one's funny. Maybe these are the types of jokes they tell.
Well, her sister's not funny. We met her sister. We met her mom. We did meet the brothers briefly. So I don't know. Maybe it's just not a funny family. Or maybe we don't get the jokes because the jokes are only told on the Upper East Side or wherever she lives. And we don't get it because we live down here in Texas. We don't understand those high-end jokes.
Excuse me.
Pilot versus captain.
It's just not landing. It doesn't land.
Exactly.
We're driving home.
God, put me to bed. Put me to bed now. Send me.
This is something that I think is important that we need to flag because the way that Aaron describes this later doesn't quite fit.
Mm-hmm.
When they get there, someone notices that Uba left her phone. Presumably somebody in production.
Okay.
Probably a producer. We don't see that, but we see it kind of. And Aaron turns around. She's like, oh, Uba, dumbass.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Clock
okay.
that. Mm-hmm.
It was incidental. This was happenstance. It was only because Aaron was the last to get out of the car. Mm-hmm. But later on, she's like, she should be thanking me.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Very much like Bethany says, Luann owes her life to me. Mm-hmm. She would not be alive without me.
Mm-hmm. Same as
Dennis
TJ
had to
Maxx.
die for Luann.
TJ Maxx needs to owe Bethany because she gave them makeup.
Correct. So later on, when we see Aaron talk about this, and she's like, I don't understand why Uba's so upset. Like, she should be thanking me. Like, I did her a favor. No, you were just kind of there. It would have been anybody. Mm-hmm. It's not, you didn't go back to the car. You didn't like this. You didn't go out of your way. Somebody kind of like flagged it down. Hey, Uber left her phone. Dumbass. I'm going to take this.
I thought that was very rude.
She also sounds really drunk. I do want to say that. Not that that is an excuse, but I do think that you lose your inhibition. You don't.
So she thinks that she's a dumbass. Sometimes that's guys.
Oh, that I think that, yeah, sure. I'm just mean that maybe she just doesn't have a good read. I don't think there's a lot of introspection with Aaron.
Okay, fair.
Okay. Guys, novel ideas over here, okay? There's no introspection.
Yeah.
Okay, so they get dressed, they're gonna do a night swim. Jenna is coerced into staying outside, even though she has work to do. Mm-hmm. And Uba's pleading with Aaron. She can sense it. She knows that Aaron wants to push her in. He was like, please don't. I love you. Please don't. Okay. This is where it becomes too much for me. Okay. Because Sai pushes her in. Mm-hmm. Uba then thinks that that's it. Payback is done. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Aaron's like, absolutely fucking not. This is not the end of this because Sai did that. That's not me. Mm-hmm. They go to bed. And this is where Aaron takes her phone, hides it under her pillow.
Well, she already had the phone. She just takes it upstairs.
I know, but that's what I mean. But she leaves though. Like she goes back upstairs and she has it. And okay. Mm-hmm. And then we see that, well, Uba's missing her phone. She's literally looking in the dark because Sai is sleeping, I guess, in the living room. I'm so confused by this.
No, I think Sai was in the bedroom, but she said she's such a light sleeper. She heard them. So then she got
it.
I think that's
I was wondering. I was like,
I think that's how I understood it.
Got it. Okay. 45 minutes is too long. I don't understand this. And I think that if this were to happen to Aaron very much in the same way that Jessel said, Aaron would be so pissed.
It would not be okay.
No.
And also Sai, the content creator, she would not be okay with it.
Well, she is very fair though with Aaron later on. She's like, I'd be pissed off.
I know, but the next morning she can't have any real empathy for Uba. She's like, oh, well, she gave back to you, whatever.
No, she doesn't.
So,
but is there really opportunity for her to do that?
Well, so much to the fact that Uba's like, I'm going to ignore you too. I don't know. I will say, I do think she was fair when she talked to Aaron.
I do. Same.
But that next morning, no, I don't think she didn't say anything to Uba like, Uba, I get it. I'd be pissed too. That would irritate me as well.
But they haven't seen Uba like, yet.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the next morning.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, the next morning because she goes down and sees Sai.
She does, but Sai and Aaron have a breakaway in the bedroom in the morning before they go down for breakfast.
Okay,
that's what I was trying to say.
Right,
so that's where they talk a little bit.
Yeah.
And Sai's like, yeah, I would totally be fucking pissed.
She's like, you would?
Why? And
then Aaron gets clocked. Oh no, I'm going to be on the wrong side of this one. Yeah, and guys, I don't even want to get lost in the 45 minutes because Aaron went upstairs to go to sleep with the phone. This wasn't 45 minutes of them hanging out and then Aaron being like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go to bed. Uba, have your phone.
The lights were off in the house. No one was partying and she wasn't like looking at her phone.
Upstairs to have the phone. And that's what really pissed me off. And Aaron was like, God, I only had it for like 45 minutes. Like, chill, relax. Yeah, you only had it for 45 minutes because Uba looked for her phone and started to freak out and texted you and then went up there and you gave it to her. You didn't even have the courtesy to come downstairs.
No.
To give it to her.
Well, she says, I told Jessel. Sai's like, I told Jessel that Aaron had it.
Yeah, because the emojis didn't give it away, I guess. How annoying.
Plausible deniability really goes a long way with these people. And then she
sends like the freezing. To me, God, I was so annoyed.
She just can't understand that the things that don't annoy her annoy other people.
Well, she doesn't care.
It's really fucking annoying.
She doesn't care
to
to understand. That's what I'm saying. She looks, well, I wouldn't be upset about that. This is prank wars. First of all, you would be. So you're not fooling anybody.
She absolutely would.
And, but she's chill. Lauren, she's chill. She's cool. She's cool.
I mean, I was just thinking about it. Like, she took a risk pushing me into the pool. What if I didn't? Well, you don't mind that. So I understand that this is a hypothetical, but that's not what this is.
Right.
Okay. And it was supposed to be an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. That's the problem here. It's not so much that Uba's not understanding that she too needs to be pranked because y'all are having fun. You took the fun to a certain level and then you crossed the line. That's the problem.
And then you doubled down.
She did not know that pushing into the pool did not make up for what Aaron was wanting to prank her back for. That's misleading.
Well, yeah. Wait till the next day and push her in the pool.
The thing is that we've seen conflict like this before, but this just doesn't feel, I don't know. I can't really, I feel like I'm having a hard time articulating. I'm struggling with that because it's not that we haven't seen conflict that's petty like this. It's not that we haven't seen people who are out of touch, obviously. I mean,
right.
RHONY was built. The backbone of RHONY is out of touch, okay?
Yeah, Ramona.
So, like, exactly. So, like, this is
Luann.
not... Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
The only thing that's phony about me is my leg. So, the RHONY franchise it's built on this.
Yeah.
Okay? It's in the fabric of what it is. So, it's not that I'm not used to this, but this just feels different. And I can't put my finger on it. I don't know why. It's leaving me just more irritated and not, I don't know. What is it? Is it a double standard that I have? I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, maybe you can put my thoughts to words.
Again, I want to apologize to the listeners because I'm a broken record, but I'm going to say it. They're not friends. They're not close. So for me, this quote unquote prank war came across like on Uba's side. First of all, I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't hate swimming. I hate getting my head wet because I am so prone to ear infections. So if somebody shoved me in the pool, I would be like, ugh, I'm kind of annoyed only because I'm having to get my ears wet. Okay. Now I'm going to roll with the punches. I'm going to get over it because I don't really give a fuck. But I'm not a fan of throwing people into the pool either. So I will say that.
To be fair to Aaron.
Even
though she's fine with it. It was a hypothetical.
She's chill.
Stop.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing.
But I'm just saying, in fairness to the situation, I'm not a fan of throwing people into the pool. Okay. I get it. To me, it's more like childish and like goofy, whatever. But Aaron with the phone, that to me was very mean-spirited. And I think where the disconnect is coming from is that these women don't have a friendship like that. And I think we used the example when we were voice memoing, like the Beverly Hills last season when they were at Diana's like Christmas party and the holy night, the stars are brightly shining. That was me being Erica. But at that party, was it Kathy that hid Kyle's purse?
Yes.
Okay. She like, I'm going to hide Kyle's purse. Okay. So kind of very stupid, very catty, goofy, what? But light and fun, right? They're sisters. She also, there was some history there, I guess, that they've done this before.
Yes.
And Kyle looked for like maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes and then was like, Kathy, did you do this? Kathy, is this you? Kathy's like, So it's like, that reads better on camera because there's history there. It doesn't last very long, first of all. It's pretty innocent.
It feels like she hides it knowing that Kyle's probably going to leave soon.
Correct.
It's all correct. It's all very methodical.
Yes.
And it's about 20 minutes probably, I would say, in like real time.
Okay.
Not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I know that maybe some people might see it as not a comp because they are sisters, so there is a familiarity. But just even in that, even if there wasn't a familiarity, they're at a party. There's a lot of people there. Kyle knows it's there somewhere. No one took it. So Kyle can ascertain what leads her to believe that Kathy took it. In this case, it's her phone with all of her information, like cards, like there are things on it. Now, I don't know if it's a wallet type of a phone. It's a breach of security.
Yeah.
I could understand with Brynn and what she said about Abe at the vow renewal, why that could upset Aaron.
Yeah.
I could understand that.
Okay.
This is not funny. So when Brynn made those jokes with Aaron, I didn't think it was a big deal. Thought it was funny. I understood it. I understood
you were being fair to Aaron.
Correct.
Just understanding how she could maybe be a little bit upset about that.
Yes, but my ideology was a little bit more on the side of Brynn. Like,
Sure.
It wasn't that big of a deal. All right.
Yes, with everybody else, yeah.
With this, Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I mean,
It's true.
yeah,
With this, I couldn't even rationalize that this was even a funny joke.
because it wasn't.
It's not a joke to me. And I think that's where they lost me, or Aaron lost me, because it wasn't so much me trying to, through my observation, try to figure out like, okay, what is fair, what isn't fair. Yes, I don't think it's a big deal that she took her phone, but at the same time, like, that's just not funny to me. There was no payoff in that. Erin is not funny.
No, she's not.
And
no, she's not. She's not funny at all.
but she thinks that she's doing something. Like, she thinks she's doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. Like, if this, like, to me, like, I don't even really know that she's like acting it up for cameras. I think she's actually just a bitch in real life, and we're actually seeing how she treats people. There's 1,000 things that were amiss for me with the phone stuff. One, I kind of attribute it to like, okay, fun joke. I'm going to push you in the pool. Okay. Annoying, childish. And I wish she didn't do that. I'm going to get her back. I'm going to slash her tires.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I mean, I wasn't even expecting you to go there.
It just felt so mean. It felt calculated and mean. And this is why. I'm not so much bothered. Well, I am bothered. I'm not going to say that I'm not. I'm bothered that she took the phone. Mm-hmm. But if we want to be Aaron and we want to be like, wow, here's my one-upper, the prank war, I'm anteing up, I'm going to take her phone. Okay, so now you have the phone. Obviously, we have footage of that night where they're hanging out, they're having fun, no one's even asking about the phone, right?
Sure.
If Aaron had done it this way, I would have let her slide a little bit more. If Aaron had taken the phone, they have fun, they're chatting, whatever, and then Uba's like, where's my phone? Let Uba look for like 2 or 3 minutes, and they'd be like, oh, Uba, got you, I have your phone. Right?
Exactly.
Then I could be like, okay, fine. But this is what I can't get behind. One is being pushed in the pool. You're like, oh, that's annoying. The other one is causing stress, anxiety, and discomfort. Because when Uba doesn't know where her phone is, she has anxiety. Mm-hmm. Everything is on her phone. They're also traveling to a different country where, guys, now that we travel the way that we do, typically you have to have your phone to travel because you're boarding pass and shit.
Guys.
I'm not saying you can't do it. You have emails and stuff, but how stressful would that be if you don't have your phone traveling anywhere, but let alone internationally? So
I know it's not the same, but also my Taylor Swift ticket on my fucking phone.
Correct.
I was devastated.
Everything is on the phone now.
I did not understand how I couldn't get my ticket. I tried to sign in on somebody else's phone. Absolutely fucking not. It was not allowing it.
What if I was like, Laura, just kidding, here it is. Like, even just like 2 minutes of being...
no.
But I would never do something like that.
No, you would not.
So
I'm actually like getting mad about the fucking hypothetical.
I know.
What?
But that's my problem. One is a prank that's kind of annoying, but in like good spirit. The other one is mean spirited. That's why I use the example of slashing tires. Well, just fill them up, Uba. Who cares? Just go get them patched. No big deal. They're just tires. Like, that's her attitude. And I'm not gonna get behind. This is the other thing that fucking sent me over. When we get the flash of Uba coming down and Jessel coming down to help her. At this point, it's, I guess, after midnight, because now she's starting to realize that she doesn't know where her phone is. Mm-hmm. And then she does that text message and the emoji. Guys, the emoji of Aaron doing the, that was a yes. How did you not get that? That was me having it. I'm not even going to give the text any leverage because I thought that was piss poor and horrific. But Aaron the next day is now, because I think maybe deep down, maybe she's thinking, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. But she has to defend herself, right? Mm-hmm. I only had it for like an hour, 45 minutes. And then the minute she asked, I gave it to her. Well, let's play it back.
Roll it back, baby. Roll the tape.
You were upstairs in your room going to sleep with the phone. It's not as if the night ended and you said, Uba, guess what? I guess the prank went wrong. You didn't know that I had your phone, but I had it. You didn't give her phone back. She had to come looking for it, and she had to go upstairs to your bedroom while you were going to sleep and get the phone. So I'm not going to buy this narrative of like, well, I only had it for 45 minutes to an hour, and the minute she asked for it, I gave it back. No, because you would have gone to sleep with that phone and woken up the next morning and probably watched her look around for it and then been like, okay, Uba, after seeing her stress out, being like, okay, I have it. No big deal. Relax. I don't get first of all, I'm not a pranks person. So this is like triggering me already.
No-go for you.
It's triggering me anyway. I was so livid, and I stand with Uba 100%, and I can't. I can't, and I won't. Ever. So anyway.
Guys, I can feel the heat, the steam permeating from Betsy.
I'm not a believer in pranks that make people feel badly.
Well,
like, I don't like people feeling stressed, feeling anxiety, even though I know it's okay, even though I know, I'm going to be able to tell Lauren that I actually have the phone. So I'm watching her like lose her shit and freak out about the tickets, but I know it's going to be okay because I have it. Watching someone that you don't even know, sorry, that y'all aren't really that close of friends, stress out, I don't like that. That to me is a bad character.
No, of course.
I cannot get behind that. I don't subscribe to shit like that. I don't like that kind of stuff at all.
Losing your phone in a foreign fucking country is not a fucking joke. They're also not in a place, just like Uba says, there's not a place, you can't just go to Anguilla and just like, I'm just going to go to that store.
I'm going to go to an Apple
I'm just
store.
going to go to, it doesn't exist like that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't co-sign pranks really at all, but I, for sure, Spuck, don't do pranks that cause anxiety, stress, and being uncomfortable. And that's what she did to Uba. That's what she did. And I don't like that. Like that. That's why I'm like, she slashed her tires. Like, it's something that is very mean.
Well, I don't like people in my space. And so if I'm with some of my friends and we're out and we're drinking and it gets to a certain point, everyone's just being like kind of handsy and affectionate. That doesn't bother me. But there is a certain point where if somebody's like grabbing my boobs or slapping my butt or doing something like that, after a while, I'm like, okay, I get it. And we just have to let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, that hasn't happened in a very long time. But when it has, it's just like, okay, please, I'm done. Yeah. I'm good. Thank you.
It was one thing to do the prank. That was too much for me. But then the way that she behaved the next morning was what just did it for me, where I was like, I think I'm okay with being done with Aaron. Like, to me, this is a strong statement. What episode are we on? 1,000 at this point? I don't know.
I want to say we're in episode 10.
Okay. So are we a little bit more than midway through?
Oh, we're almost done.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. We probably have.
Hallelujah. There's no redemption for me right now with her. Like, I don't see myself coming back and ever really liking her. And the thing is, like, she can't even be a fun villain because she's not fun. I'm having no fun with her.
Yeah, it's a dud.
I like a bitch. Don't get me wrong. Like, someone who can be bitchy and blah, 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 but she's not fun.
Bryn's a fire in the hole. Aaron's a dud.
She is a dud. Mm-hmm. And the way that she tried to like brush it off in the morning, being like what you said, well, actually, I should be doing you a favor, or you should be thanking me. You didn't think about that when you took the phone? That was not what you were thinking about. You were thinking, oh, good, an easy opportunity to do a prank.
And what bothers me even fucking more is that she already knows that Uba's upset, and she acts fucking brand new. What did I do? Why is she upset?
Why is she ignoring me?
I actually forgot about that. It wasn't even... I can understand if it was used as like a utility, like it was used as a tool because maybe she doesn't want to broach a conversation. That's bullshit. Fucking confront that shit. Instead, she acted brand new and again, doubled down outside of her conversation with Sai, being like, what did I do? It was just a prank. I gave it back to her. She asked for it. I gave it back. Stop acting brand new. Yeah. You know why she's upset with you. You know why she's coming downstairs and she's not acknowledging your presence because she's pissed. So instead of acting like a petulant child with a fucking maturity level of a preteen and just confront it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, she doesn't want to do that.
No, because she wants Uba to do all the work so that she can sit back and go, she's scary. She's intimidating.
Oh, God. Forgot about that.
I was so disappointed.
What did she say? She's like, don't come at me or don't. I forgot what she says.
Don't scream. Well, earlier when she was talking to Sai, she's like, I heard Uba screaming.
Oh,
what?
And she's like, I heard you say my name. And Uba's like, I didn't say anything about you.
Well, she does say her name, but because she's somebody's saying, like, asking where she's like,
at. Aaron was standing over there. That's all she said. Why are you screaming my name? Yeah.
I don't want your name in your mouth, no matter what it is.
So now Aaron has to act like she's the one that's being victimized. She's the one who's upset because Uba is now yelling in her space.
Get out of my face. Excuse me? Don't grab me. Give me my sunglasses back. I am not listening to you. You are not allowed to yell at me.
Yeah.
She's a Karen.
She is. She's a Karen.
She's a fucking Karen.
She is a Karen. She does bad things and expects to be forgotten, forgiven. Who cares? And people do things to her. You're crucified.
Yeah.
Fuck off. She has no likability for me. I don't know where to go with her. It's a dead end for me. It's not even a cul-de-sac. I can't even go in circles. It's a fucking dead end. I can't. I really don't know that I've ever disliked somebody like this in a first season ever. And that's even including, dare I say it, like even a Jin Shaw, because, well, Bronwyn, she was annoying, but it was the second season that really took me over the edge. But no, honestly, I'll take Bronwyn over Aaron. Aaron is like deplorable to me. I don't like anything about her. I really don't. It's not a fun place to be, guys. I don't want to dislike people.
I know. I wish you could see Betsy's face right now. Like, it's real.
I'm like torn up. I hate it because I don't want to dislike her this way, but I can only go based on what I'm seeing, and what I'm seeing is piss poor, horrific behavior, and I'm not here for it.
I just don't like that she goes immediately to intimidate.
She just doesn't have any accountability.
No.
Even with Jessel, and we all thought that stuff with Jessel was ridiculous, but even that, she has no accountability with Jessel. She can't apologize in a real way for anything. Well, that was the cat. The cat agrees.
Yeah. The cat said,
Cats agree.
Shut the fuck up. Wrap this recording up.
Yeah, they're on our side.
I just don't think it's going to get better.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. She's done. I'm done with her. I'm done.
So the way that I look at it, there's one of two trajectories. Erin watches the season and we learn and we grow. Not because I need Erin necessarily to change, but I do think I need Erin to see how maybe she's perceived by others.
She's coming off.
Exactly. And not because perception is king, but I want to know if there's something that we're missing. I want to know if maybe she is coming off one way, but like deep down, she means another way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we just need to see that about ourselves.
I would like to root for that because I'm all about personal growth and seeing yourself and like what you're saying. Maybe that's not how she meant it. Maybe that's not how she meant it to come off. You know,
well, very much in the same way that they tell Jessel at the beginning of the season that she's cold. She's frigid. Mm-hmm. There's no warmth. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that Jessel's not like that. But I do think that, especially with Jessel having conversations with her husband and having broader conversations with the cast over the course of the season, we have seen her like loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, she has.
She doesn't feel that way like she did in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I want to give that latitude and grace to Erin and think that the trajectory really is like, oh, she just doesn't see herself in the same way. I don't know if it's going to happen because the other way is it's worse. And I don't know. I don't know. This is where the conundrum is. I, like you, don't want to feel this way. And I'm trying to really wrap my head around the why, because we've seen plenty of housewives over the course of the last 15 fucking years be hypocritical, be judgmental, almost far worse in ways that Erin isn't. But for whatever reason, it's very ick to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. And maybe we just need to...
We can marinate on it.
Yeah, we need to do some more discovery. Forensics.
Yeah, forensics.
Because it's just not landing. She seems unfun. At this point, I'm like, does Brendan even really care to like, does she really like her this much? Or like, does she feel like Erin is the one to kind of, latch onto?
I don't know, but this is bringing me back to when Andy had them all on when the first episode aired on Watch What Happens Live. And Andy went around.
That. He loves her, by the way.
And Andy, he loves who?
I think he loves Erin. I need to watch the Watch What Happens Live episode from Sunday, but
that actually tracks for me. I don't remember how the question was formed, but it was basically like, what's your biggest takeaway from the season, or like what's one thing that you?
Sure.
I think it was like, what's your takeaway? What do you want? What do you want the audience to know? Whatever. And everyone went around like, oh, like the cam. I don't even remember what anyone said. I do remember what Bren said, and Bren says, "Don't trust Erin." And Bren was the last one to go, and Erin was like, "Oh wow," and everyone was like, and because it's Bren, it's said kind of in a lighthearted way, but she meant it. She goes, "Don't trust anything Erin says."
Yeah, like Jackie Goldschneider. When I Watch What Happens Live, and she was asked the same question, and the person that you can't trust is Margaret. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not the same as Arsenal. It wasn't the same. Like, you said the exact same thing. You said the exact motherfucking thing that Danielle said.
I didn't say that you can't trust Margaret.
Joke.
You don't want her as an enemy.
What the fuck?
Well, why not?
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway.
It just feels very that. Like, I don't know. Just something feels very amiss. And I feel bad that I feel this way.
Well,
I really do.
Too, but I'm only judging it based on what I'm getting.
Well, okay. So if we're looking at it objectively, we know that what Erin did with the phone was shitty, and she doesn't get it. She's probably never going to get it. Now, we understand why Uba's upset. Mm-hmm. So seeing that conflict isn't really surprising to us. But do you think that Uba crossed the line and got too comfortable? Too close, I guess, to her, to Erin. By taking, do you
when
think
she took her sunglasses off?
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. I mean, yes, personal space, fine, but
it is. But I wonder if what she's doing is more her reacting, or if it's really just Uba just trying to prove a point. Like, you taking my phone and taking it for an hour is as much of a violation as me taking the sunglasses off your face right now.
I don't know, because when Uba does it, she's like, you look at me when you are talking to me. Like, she was like, don't you be wearing those sunglasses. So I don't know, but I don't want Erin to use this as an example or an excuse as to like, I was violated. My personal space was violated. I don't even want to talk about it.
She says next episode that she was scared.
Oh my God. You know what though? She's going to get a lot of backlash and whatever.
I just think that...
Whatever. You're not scared. What are you scared of?
Well, I think that... I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. I think that we all carry internal bias.
Sure.
Not because we want to, but we only know what our experience is in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we, at times, should be a little bit more careful the way that we are... the certain adjectives and things that we're using to describe women of color.
Sure.
And I just feel like this energy, we've seen this before in other all-cast events, the Wreath event, for instance. But you don't hear Erin using that same type of language. And I think that's probably a little bit what bothers me, because she's very quick to be, I'm intimidated. She's scary. She's screaming. And I don't know. I just feel like...
Yeah.
There's an internal bias there, and I'm not saying that Erin's a bad person, but again, our perspective is very narrow. She doesn't think that way because she thinks that Jessel's privileged, but her perspective is also narrow in life.
Correct.
It is a little short-sighted.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's obvious, I think. Very
similarly to the way that Garcelle felt with Kyle bringing up not fulfilling the donation.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that what Kyle did was inherently wrong. It's more of a moment for her to better understand, like, hey, when you say that, I understand that this is not your intention. However, the connotation out there and the way that people of color are perceived, all it does is perpetuate a stereotype. And I think that I just wish that Erin would think about that more carefully. And I understand that in the moment it's heated. I get it. I haven't seen that type of language towards the other women who Erin's been equally annoyed and upset with. Yeah. And I just think that it's rooted in a little bit of internal bias.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what type of dynamic conversation we're going to get next week, but I would imagine that Erin's the kind of person that if somebody did, maybe not even Uba, but if someone was like, hey, I don't know if you should be using that terminology, and like kind of paint the picture on how that could be perceived differently. I think Erin, instead of being like, oh my God, of course I didn't mean it that way. Like, yeah, like I can understand that. Erin would be like, well, I wouldn't do that. No. To me, she seems very defensive.
Of course.
Right? Which is all I need to know about really who she is. I think I know who she is. I've clocked her. I'm okay to say if I'm wrong. I'm here for personal growth. But right now...
I worked the Diddy parties.
On September 19th, 2023, I've clocked her. I've got her number. I've got her name, Karen, and I see who she is. And we'll see what happens.
Well, another day.
Another dollar less.
I know, guys. Negative cents, negative dollars in the bank account. Okay?
You have zero. I have negative zero. I'm worse than you. Okay?
You grew up homeless? Well, I grew up toothless, okay? How can you not understand that? You don't understand. I grew up toothless. So now I have teeth and now I'm homeless. Okay? Because I can't be toothless and homeless at the same time. It's homeless, not toothless. It's one or the other. Okay?
That's it. It's a trade-off.
It's a one-way street. Like the street Shannon Bador drove down. When she didn't realize that she crossed lanes, she went to the other lane and hit a house. It's a one-way street.
Oh, justice for Archie, baby. Oh my God. Full circle. Or half a circle, I guess.
Yeah, full circle, guys. Full circle. Well,
I'm sorry that that I was a little heated. Sometimes I get impassioned.
It happens.
Sometimes I get impassioned, guys, because that's what these shows do to me sometimes, okay?
I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We really appreciate all of your listenership.
We do.
Your loyalty. Unlike these women, have no fucking loyalty to each other. It is embarrassing. I'm like, have you no loyalty?
Yeah. Well, Uba and Jessel, they're clicking. They're clicking.
They have loyalty. Yeah. That's because they get each other.
Yeah, exactly.
They're immigrants. They come from, similar backgrounds that are very rooted in, family, all of that stuff. So it's just beyond.
And when they talk to each other, they believe each other. Can you imagine that as friendship?
Why would you need your phone? You have to call your sister? Why? Codependent? You controlled? No, I mean, she didn't say any of that, guys. Erin didn't say any of that, but...
That got cut.
It's beyond. It's so beyond. But guys, thank you for joining us.
Yes. We appreciate y'all.
you staying as long as you did.
Big time.
Guys, you stayed longer than Shannon Medore waited to get back into her car. About an hour and 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Too soon?
Way longer. Maybe 3 times. I don't know how long this
Well, she ended up at that shopping mall.
No, I'm not very far.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you'd like, scroll down to the bottom. You'll see there where it says the descriptor, the episode descriptor. There's a little link. It's donate a cocktail.
Yeah, Lauren's birthday. Donate a couple.
I want 36 cocktails for 36 years of life. Count the rings on the tree.
Give me at least 1 or 2. Party.
We appreciate it. I don't want to come off begging. It's just like I don't want to be a beggar.
Guys, please. I'll beg. Donate the cocktails.
Just so you were never a beggar.
Cockies.
You always grew up life. Privileged. Money.
Liar.
England, London, Kenya. Jesus fucking Christ. Jessel, we love you.
Yeah, Jessel, you really...
Good for you. Stand up for yourself,
baby.
Jessel.
See? We can get behind people that we weren't initially behind. So look at me.
Of course you can.
Of course.
Guys, rotten hell. Guys, if you don't donate a cocktail, you will rotten hell.
Rotten hell. Or hail.
Yeah, rotten hell.
So good.
It's Madison LaCroix who does it for me.
Hail.
You shut the fuck up now. Shut up.
So Southern
you
women.
Shut that muppet mouth. She's so good.
So great.
I sent her a voice note last week that was like best of her one-liners.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. She has a lot. She has a lot of good ones.
She didn't respond. She just only like ha-ha'd it. I'm like, oh wow. Okay. Well, it's a lot of work.
You feeling like Austin Kroll? She emoji'd your text.
Yeah. I don't know if it can be seen at this party. Oh God.
Scared me.
Guys. Okay.
Oh my God.
Betsy just shit herself like by because my cat came up behind her. This is where we have to go.
Oh my God. That was like a ghost jump.
Well, it's actually it's starting to get dark in my living room.
We have to go. Bye.
I can't find my phone. Gotta go.
I took it. Don't tell her. I'll give her in 45 minutes.
But no, in 15. No, 45. It wasn't that long, okay?
I was going to give it to you when you asked. God.
By the way, she was pretend reading. She was pretend reading once I came in there at the end.
Oh, yeah.
I could go on for days. Anyway, guys.
All right.
We gotta
guys.
go. Bye.
Take care.